Orioles baseball on Masson on a very warm Wednesday night at Camden Yards. It's interleague baseball as the Orioles and the Florida Marlins get set to play the middle game of this three-game series. And hi, everyone. I'm Jim Hunter. Thanks for joining us as the Birds look to bounce back from last night's defeat in the opener. Of course, the Orioles are looking for more offensive consistency. And even though it has been a struggle, there are some signs, subtle as they might be, that the bats are starting to come around. Adam Jones has had a very good month of June. Nick Markakis, he is tied for the league lead in doubles. And Matt Wieters' bat is starting to come around, and he looks like a more positive hitter. Wieters, over the past 2 days, has had two huge hits. On Sunday in San Diego, this double drove in 3 runs. It capped a 4-run first inning, got the Orioles an early lead. Then last night, it was a 3-run home run the opposite way that erased a 4-0 Florida lead and got the Orioles back in it. And, of course, when you have a confident hitter, you have a guy that comes to the plate expecting to succeed. Wieters last night, his second consecutive multi-RBI game. He's only the 4th Oriole this year to have done that. Adam Jones, Luke Scott, and Ty Wigginton, the others. And Mike Flanagan, when you talk about a confident hitter and a guy who's looking to go to the plate expecting to succeed, these are the situations that enable them to do it. They've done it. They look to do more.
Hey, you're exactly right. You know, when you can have that sort of rollover effect day to day, you start to build that confidence, and that confidence is going to do nothing but help your offense. And as you said, Matt Wieters of late, Wigginton's done it from time to time. They need the whole offense to sort of string these type of games together.
Now, the other aspect of the hitting is the lack of power. The Orioles are looking for a power surge, and it's amazing how this has been top to bottom. The Orioles in the month of June, as a team, have hit only 9 home runs. That's the fewest in the major leagues. And, hey, where are these non-solo home runs?
Yeah, they haven't been few and far between. You go back to Grand Slam, that's by Luke Scott. It was a pinch hit Grand Slam, and I guess going back to the days of Earl Weaver ball, only three run home runs all year. Matt Wieters with a couple, again, one recently, Nick Markakis, and kind of an astonishing number, 1,156 at bats between Luke Scott's Grand Slam and Matt Wieters' 3-run home run. That's a span of about 40 games.
Well, they say that home runs are mistakes. The Orioles are looking for a few more of those mistakes to lead the ballpark. It's the Orioles and the Marlins interleague baseball. Brian Mattis set to take them out. Hey, it's a great night. Come on down and join us. Lineups at first pitch are next. At Camden Yards, but you know what, folks? It's summer. It's supposed to be warm. And it's a great night for baseball as the Orioles get set to take on the Marlins middle game of the three-game series. Southwest Airlines starting lineups for the Florida Marlins: Chris Coghlan, Gabby Sanchez, and Hanley Ramirez. Ramirez, he has thrived against the Orioles in these interleague games. A .529 batting average, 2 home runs, and 14 RBIs going back to last year. Jorge Cantu, Dan Uggla, Cody Ross, Mike Stanton, Wes Helms, and Ronnie Polino rounded out.
Well, tonight's Scouting Report is brought to you by PNC for the achiever in all of us. For Brian Mattis, it'll be bear down, 59% of leadoff men. He's only retired 59%, which is a very low number. Running low, the Marlins have stolen 23 consecutive bases. He'll have to use that good pickoff move tonight to keep them in line. And playwrights, he's real tough on right-handed hitters, and certainly with that changeup. And the Marlins, with 8 of their 9 hitters in the lineup being right-handed, should play into his hand.
So Brian Mattis looking to get the Orioles even in this series. As we talked about last night, the goal for the rest of the way is to try to win as many series as you can to get that one-loss record more back to respectability. To do that, you got to get your 2 out of 3. Birds can still do that.
Yep, absolutely. If you don't win game 1, then you go out there and try to win game 2. You're starting off 0-0.
So Brian Mattis making his 15th start. Here is Chris Coghlan, the leadoff man for the Marlins. He is the lone left-handed batter in the lineup and batting leadoff. And Mattis deals. It's over but low. 1-0. We're underway at Camden Yards. Managerial change for Florida today. There's Edwin Rodriguez. He is the interim manager promoted from their AAA team in New Orleans. As Coghlan pops it up near the mound, who's it going to be? Here comes Wigginton taking charge, and the first baseman grabs it for the out. And 1 away here in the first inning.
Let's take a look at the Oriole defense tonight. It'll be Corey Patterson in left. Adam Jones will be in center. Nick Markakis in right. Tejada is Tours, Moore, and Wigginton around the infield. And Matt Wieters will be behind the plate.
And the defense brought to you by Cisco Federal, a proud mission partner to the United States Department of Defense. Gabby Sanchez, who is a hot hitter, the Florida first baseman, has hit in 6 straight games. He had a real good game last night. A couple of hits and an RBI, and he takes strike 1. The Marlins, despite the fact that they changed managers today, are still in the race in the NL East, and that is such is life in the NL East. And there's a base hit up the middle. So Gabby Sanchez stays hot against the Orioles. He's now hitting 7 straight games. And a 1-out base runner for Florida.
Well, I just say it's going to be interesting to see how Mattis works this predominantly right-handed hitting lineup.
Well, Hanley Ramirez coming up. He's got a 3-game hitting streak going, and he picked up where he left off last year in that 3-game series in Florida. He had a 3-hit night. He drove in 3 runs. He stole a base for good measure, and he was on base all 5 times, including bouncing into a fielder's choice.
And kind of amazingly, hit in the first at bat. Sometimes that'll affect the rest of your game. This really didn't affect Henley's last night.
And he fouls it back.
A surprising number with Ramirez, who won the batting title last year against left-handers. 205, just 2 home runs and 8 RBIs. See his numbers on the season. So he's probably hitting around 330 against right-handers.
Brian Mattis holds runners on very well.
As we were saying, they've stolen 23 consecutive bases.
And a foul back just below us. Mattis looking for his first win since April the 18th in Oakland. Got off to a very good start, winning 2 of his first 3 games. 2-0 in those first 3 games. The middle game in that stretch was a no decision. In fact, Brian Mattis was on the mound in Tampa. He won the Orioles' first game of the year, the finale of that 3-game series.
Yeah, amazingly, still looking for his first home win.
The 0-2 to Ramirez. He just got a piece, fooled badly by the pitch, but there's that back control, Mike, as he was able to just flick it foul to stay alive.
Well, he stays inside the ball extremely well. We saw that last night, but he can also turn on that. But a lot of times when right-handed hitters are not hitting left-handed pitching, is they're not covering the outside part of the plate.
Mattis, 23 years old, out of Paradise Valley, Arizona. And a toss to first, and Coghlan is, or excuse me, Sanchez is back. Mattis did get the right guy out. Coughlin, who led off the inning, a much better base stealer than Gabby Sanchez. Ramirez 6 for his last 11 in this 3-game streak. And the breaking ball low. He doesn't chase. 1-2.
As you said, Ramirez stole his 13th base last night. They have 45 steals and 56 chances. That's an 80% success rate. Third best in the National League. The thing is, they've stolen 23 straight. They've been caught since May 31st. They do a fair amount of running, and they're successful at it.
1-2 pitch is too tight. 2-2 the count. Dana DeMuth has the plate tonight. He's the crew chief. Veteran umpire.
You see Mattis looking over at Sanchez, who has a good lead. And one way to judge how a left-hander's pickoff move is when Mattis lifts that right leg. If that runner does not lean back towards first, if he just holds his ground, he's probably a little bit too far off the bag.
Breaking ball called, strike 3. That time he froze Hanley Ramirez, and he gets the strikeout and 2 men down. Big out for Brian Mattis.
So Mattis does a good job of checking the runner. He just throws that sort of sweeping breaking ball. Seems to take a little bit off of it. At times we've seen Brian, to me, try to throw his curveball too hard, and it will spin off and stay up in the strike zone. That when he finished and just let it break through the strike zone.
Here's Jorge Cantu, who is DHing as the Marlins use the American League rules, and he takes high 1-0. Last night in the 2nd inning, after a 2-run double by Hanley Ramirez, Jeremy Guthrie hits Jorge Cantu, a pitch that simply appeared to go inside, and home plate umpire Doug Eddings thought better of it. It was the second batter in 2 innings that Guthrie had hit. Immediately issued warnings to both sides, and then Florida manager Freddie Gonzalez wasn't too happy about it, but once it's warned, it's warned.
No, and it really did. To me, it changed the tone of the game. It seemed to really settle in after that.
Jeremy, 7th hit batsman on the year. This one coming right back towards us. And just below.
Right off, I think, a very expensive camera.
Fortunately, it missed the camera. 1-2 the count on Jorge Cantu. And there's a bloop into left field, and he snaps out of an 0 for 19 with that base hit. For Sanchez to second, Cantu at first. Mattis this year averaging 10 base hits per 9 innings of work. And he's also walked 3 batters per game.
But this is his real important inning, and you do see this with young pitchers. And sometimes veterans can fall into it too. That first inning, getting your feet on the ground, figuring out what is working. Of the 46 runs that Mattis has allowed this season, 10 have been in the first inning. No other inning. He's given up 5 in the 5th, 4 in the 6th, but 7 in the 3rd. But that first inning really stands out.
Dan Uggla now, dangerous power threat, takes outside 1-0. Well, Brian Mattis, look at these numbers. His last 11 starts, 0-7 with a 4.76 ERA. But here's the key numbers below. In his first 3 starts, the Orioles scored him 14 runs. In his last 11 starts combined, they have scored him 15 runs. It's very difficult to win unless you pitch a shutout if your teammates can't score for you, as the changeup gets past Dan Uggla. So even though I do agree with the premise that the starting pitcher controls the game, you got to give the guy some help.
Absolutely.
8 times in the 11 games in which he has not won, Brian has allowed 3 runs or less, and that is the accepted standard for most starting pitchers. You get 6 innings, at least 3 runs, and you're in the game. I would prefer 7 innings and 3 runs, but you know, it's just me being old-fashioned.
All right. Well, 6 innings and 3 runs is a 4.5 ERA.
That's why I like that extra inning. I learned from you. 1-2 the count on Dan Uggla, who's got 14 home runs. 2 on and 2 out. And a pop-up wide at first. Wigginton over, hoping for a play, and he's going to run out of room. Bounces on the Oriole dugout.
And Uggla's having a terrific year, but one of the areas where he has struggled is with runners in scoring position and 2 outs. Just 2 for 26. No 77 average. Of 45 men he's had in scoring position, he's only knocked in 3. but he's a big-time power. I mean, his home run prowess is already somewhat legendary.
Big lead off first for Cantu, who's not being held. Breaking ball, and there's another defensive swing, and he fights it off.
This is if you had and one of the plays you worked on in spring training was a pickoff at first base. Most times that runner is the trail runner is watching the runner ahead. He'll get a big lead, and you can really sneak in behind him. Steal yourself out of an inning. Almost looked like Mattis was trying to get the attention of Wigington.
Count holding 1-2. Yeah, too tight, nearly hit him. 2-2.
We used to have design plays for this. Something as simple as just covering the bird on the hat, and that was a timing play with the first baseman. It's very easy because, again, that runner on first is going to be looking at the runner at second. He is going to be looking ahead. You see right there, Cantu is looking ahead to see what's going on in front of him.
Change up is low, ball 3. So a full count, which will give the Marlins an advantage. The base runners will be off for their new skipper, Edwin Rodriguez. Sanchez from second, Cantu from first base. Full count with 2 men down.
See, I was always trying to look for a place on the field where I could get an out. And preferably not at home plate. If I could get it at first, I'd take it. At second.
Runners go. Here's the 3-2. A bloop towards center field. Out goes Estoras, and he's got it for the out. So it hung up long enough, and the shortstop grabs it. So 2 hits and 2 left. We're heading to the bottom of the first, Florida nothing, and here come the Birds. For the Orioles, Corey Patterson in that leadoff spot, Miguel Tejada and Nick Markakis. Nick's got a 6-game hitting streak going, batting .455 in this recent surge. Wigington, Scott, and Jones with Wieters, Moore, and Estoras rounding it out for Juan Samuel.
Let's take a look at the tonight's scouting report is brought to you by PNC for the achiever in all of us. Internet, no interleague. Noesco is 0-3 with a 9.888. Has not had much success in interleague play. Short game has allowed 15 home runs on the year among the National League leaders, but 11 of them have been solo. And pitch in the middle, not in the middle of the plate, but the Orioles middle of the lineup. Markakis, Wigington, Scott, 0-for-15 lifetime.
Velasco in his 5th season out of Rialto, California. 27 years old, and here's Corey Patterson, and he takes a strike 0-1. Velasco was drafted by the Cubs in 2001. He was a 4th-round pick, and he was traded to the Florida Marlins following the 05 season. As he deals to Patterson, who swings and misses, and it's 0-2. And that was in a deal for Juan Pierre. Here are the numbers Mike referred to. This is this year in interleague play. 3 American League starts, 3 losses, and an ERA approaching 10. Those starts against the White Sox, Tampa Bay, and the Texas Rangers. 0-2 to Patterson. He got him. So Patterson, a 3-pitch strikeout, and one away here in the first.
Well, the Marlins defense tonight will have Coughlin in left, Cody Ross in center, Stanton in right, Helms at third, Ramirez at short, Dan Uggla will play second, Sanchez at first, and Polino back behind the plate tonight.
And here is Miguel Tejada. Miguel had a nice night last night, returning home. Had a couple of base hits, batting average at .270. Sitting on the 4 home runs and 23 RBIs. And the fastball's high, 1-0. Velasco, 6'2", goes about 228. And gets it in there, 1-1 the count on Miguel.
Yeah, make no mistake about it. He is a power arm with a plus, as they say, plus breaking ball when he is right. When he is over the top and behind the ball, he can be pretty much exceptional.
Well, good breaking ball.
There it is.
Timing upset there, Mike, and it's 1-2.
And that's that 12-6 breaking ball.
Velasco was a Double-A pitcher in 2005 for the Cubs when that trade was made following the season, and he was sent to the Florida Marlins. Very much like last night's starter, Anibal Sanchez. He was acquired that same offseason. He was in Double-A for the Red Sox. He went in exchange for Josh Beckett and Lowell. And there he is from last night, enjoying his victory, his 7th on the year. So the Marlins not only have drafted and developed well, they've recognized other teams' standout minor league players, and they've been able to sacrifice, well, because they want to, to rid themselves of payroll, but they get good players back.
Well, some of it is, to win now or to win later or to win soon. But you're right, Velasco was called up last June and won 11-4 in 22 starts.
2-2 on Tejada. And this one lifted to left field. There's Chris Coughlin. And he has it for the out, 2 men down. It was interesting what happened to him last year because he was already established. Very good year in his rookie year in 06. Then he was injured for most of the year in 07, won only 1 game, but then won 15-8 in 2008. And last year he was underachieving. Maybe his arm angle was not in the right spot, as we hear quite a bit. And they said, you know what? We know you've succeeded here, but you have to go back to AAA. You got to tighten things up. And to his credit, he did it.
Yeah, he went down, made a couple of starts, got it back together. Sometimes you just need a little break from the.
Well, there's your retaliation from last night as Velasco throws behind the Orioles' best hitter. And Dana DeMuth, a veteran umpire behind the plate, does nothing.
Yeah, that's about as wild as you can get. To throw a ball from a right-hander behind a left-hander, I mean, that is definitely a message or a holdover from last night.
And that's over the low ball, too. And Nick Markakis, to his credit, understood and did nothing.
I'm almost surprised there wasn't a quick warning. Just because you missed him. It's poor accuracy. But I think that'll tighten up this game a little bit.
And there's a strike. So Markakis coming into this game with a 6-game hitting streak and leads the club. 25 multi-hit games. He is just so consistent with getting his base hits. Rarely do you see Nick with a couple of back-to-back hitless games. Now I'm just curious, you're a former pitcher. What did that just accomplish in the last game?
It just sends a message. I think there's always pressure, I would say, on a pitcher, and probably maybe a little bit less in the National League where there's no DH, but to go out there and stand up for your teammates, the ones that just been hit. Hanley Ramirez is their best player. It's you think back to the years with Earl Weaver and others that I think we're going to have to finish this.
All right, Coughlin runs it down as Markakis hits a fly ball to left field, then a 3-up, 3-down inning. We'll head to the second at Camden Yards. No score.
Orioles could have another candidate to interview if they wanted to in the form of Freddie Gonzalez, but it is well speculated around baseball that Gonzalez could be first in line to replace Bobby Cox in Atlanta, so there's no clue whether or not Freddie is interested in the Orioles or the Orioles are interested in Gonzalez as well. Now, as far as directly competing for candidates, Andy pointed out the fact that the Marlins moved very swiftly and very decisively on this. Now, there's also speculation around baseball that move was because there's a strong interest in Bobby Valentine. So Andy pointed out there is a difference. While maybe the Marlins are a little more decisive, the Orioles are taking their time interviewing candidates. They're not sure exactly who they want, and as he said, we're just trying to get it right and bring in the right guy. There is no sense of urgency right now, unlike the Marlins. Jim?
All right, Amber, thank you very much. So it's interesting how organizational philosophies will differ in the way that this move was made with the Marlins as the ball's popped up off the bat of Cody Ross, Asturias, and Tejada, and Asturias will win it. He has it for the out of one down, and you got to believe that this has been in the works for a while. They don't just send the team on a road trip and one game in after a 10-4 win say, oh, by the way, thanks, and make the change. But it could be the interim managers. Well, the last two interim managers to meet last season, A.J. Hinch and Jim Tracy, Colorado and Arizona. And those two were eventually hired full-time by those respective teams. But maybe it was the fact that Bobby Valentine did come to Baltimore and meet with the Orioles, and the Florida Marlins have had an infatuation with him for years. Their owner apparently was the owner of a minor league team back when Bobby Valentine was there. So, you know, the Orioles are talking. Maybe the Marlins figure they better swoop in. Amber.
Well, Jim, you do have to think that the Marlins had an idea of what direction they wanted to go in because, as you mentioned at the beginning of the show, they are still somewhat in the race. The NL East is so close, and they believe they still have a chance at the championship. And if you look back to 2003, it's exactly what the Marlins did. They brought in Frank McKeon midway through the season and went on to win the World Series. Jim?
Well, and as we talked about, Amber, that's a real good point because in that division, even though they're 2 below 500, they're only 7.5 out as Stanton after the ground out. Here's Wes Helms and takes a strike. The problem is they have 3 teams ahead of them, Mike. But as long as you're within striking distance, if you get hot playing within your division, you can get right back in it.
Yeah, you just have to start to win when you're behind that many teams. But again, the number is not insurmountable. The 3 teams in front of them is going to be difficult. But at the same token, if you think that's going to jumpstart your club, then go ahead and do it. It's really how you value your club or how you evaluate your club. Do you think this is a club that should be doing a lot better than it is? And I think that's what they felt. That's one of the quotes I heard coming out today where we're talking about winning, trying to build winning, and when you don't win or don't win the way, it's expectation levels. I mean, they've had managers before down there that have won Manager of the Year and got fired. So many times it's a relationship with the front office personnel. There's a lot more that goes into it than just calling pitch outs or which hitters to hit.
1-2 pitches popped up or throw behind. Markakis settles under it. Has it for the out. Brian Madison, real strong 3 up, 3 down inning. We're in the middle of the second at Camden Yards, just beside the Babe Ruth Museum. free. Call 877-241-LUNA. Doubles in the American League. Nick Markakis tied for the league lead with Billy Butler, Dustin Pedroia, and Vernon Wells. And 4 others with 22. And that's one thing Markakis has certainly kept up. The extra base hits, 27 on the year, and 23 of those have been doubles. Up to no good. Well, I think he's up to a lot of good. Hanging out at the ballpark. Ty Wigginton will take a ball as the appeal denied by Kerwin Danley at first base. Wigginton, Scott, and Jones for the Orioles here in the second inning. No score. Ricky Nolasco on the mound. Wigginton fouls it back. Nolasco has 45 major league wins. He is 45-36. This is his 104th career start. 1-1 on Wigginton. Takes low, good eye, ball 2. Most home runs in losses this year. Wigginton is tied with Corey Hart of Milwaukee, each with 9. So 9 of his 13 home runs have come in Oriole defeats. Outside ball 3, and Ty looking for his first home run since May 22nd.
Starting to turn into a little bit of a drought.
85 at-bats since his last round tripper. And he pops it up. Shallow right, second baseman Uglas out. Here comes Stanton charging in. And the big right fielder calls. He's got it, 1 down. Well, this Saturday you can celebrate the 40th anniversary of the 1970 World Champion Orioles as Brooks, Frank, and more than 20 members of the 1970 team reunite here at Camden Yards. So come on down to Oriole Park. Get here by 3:30 and enjoy the special pregame ceremony before the Orioles take on the Nationals in throwback uniforms at 4:05. Don't miss this Birdland celebration, 40 years in the making. 888-848-BIRD or online, Orioles.com. Number 4, Earl Weaver. Jim Palmer's number, 22. And here's Luke Scott. And Luke takes a strike. That is going to be a lot of fun for those players.
Absolutely.
Getting back with their teammates, their friends, the bond that never leaves you.
Oh, no, the old stories will come flying out like it was yesterday.
0-1 pitch, high fly ball, right field. Back it goes. Stanton looks, and that ball is gone. Luke Scott hits it out into the bleachers at a 1-0 Oriole lead. Number 11 for Luke, and it puts the Birds on top.
Well, it'll hopefully jumpstart the offense. Talk about the power outage in the open. Instant gratification, the home run. He stayed out over the plate. It didn't seem to be that bad of a pitch. He just got the good part of the bat on it. And usually when he catches one flush, it goes a long way. First homer for Luke in 50 at-bats.
And with Luke, what you always expect after a home run is one of those home run surges. As Adam Jones gets into one. This one deep to center field. Cody Ross is back, and that ball is gone. Back-to-back on consecutive pitches. And a 2-0 Oriole lead.
Well, maybe that ball behind Markakis' bat has had a little bit of effect on the intensity level. They're taking some ferocious cuts. Again, that ball's down over the outside part of the plate. Not that bad of a pitch, and over the 410 mark easily.
Adam Jones hits his 10th home run. Matt Wieters' turn now. And he takes high, 1-0.
Sometimes you just need to let sleeping dogs lie. Nolasco has been prone to the home run. He's now allowed 17. 13 of them solos.
Well, I think I got my answer. I asked you what Nolasco felt he accomplished by throwing behind Markakis. The answer is he woke up the Orioles.
Absolutely. Woke up the bats. I think everybody won it today. Not sure about yesterday what it really meant. You know, you never really know the intent. But I think throwing that ball behind Markakis' bat lets you know what the Marlins thought about it.
So Nick helped his team. He certainly
They do not think the scouting report was to pitch Nick Lowen behind.
That's not
really acceptable. And you know, you go down 2 outs, nobody on, and one of your better hitters.
Wieters pulls it towards the corner, Mike. Stanton over, and he won't get it. That's in for a base hit. And Wieters is on with a single, so Wieters staying hot. He's now hitting 3 straight games, and there's that confidence. That wasn't a terrific swing, but he was able to get enough on the ball and pull it where Stanton wasn't.
I think they've been looking for some sort of spark all along, something to ignite, maybe team-wide, not an individual player. See Wieters staying back off that
Looked like it was right off the end of the bat. Maybe that's why it sounded that way.
A little top spin.
So Wieters gets on. Now a 3-game hitting streak, and here is Scott Moore. Scott getting another start at second base. And he takes strike 1. Scott has 1 home run since coming up from AAA, playing in his 22nd game. He joined the team in time for the series with the Nationals in Washington in May. He's got 11 hits in his last 14 games. 0-1 the count. Fouls it back. And we'd like to welcome all of you watching the Nationals play against Kansas City as the Nats won at 1-0 as Steven Strasburg went 6 innings. He allowed 1 run, struck out 9, did not walk a batter, and was the losing pitcher as Brian Bannister outpitched him. Kansas City beat the Nats 1-0. Now welcome to Camden Yards. Jim Hunter, Mike Flanagan, Amber Theo Harris, and our crew as the Orioles now have a 2-0 lead. Breaking ball down and in, and here's how the Birds got their lead this inning. First, Luke Scott.
Yeah, going back, Luke Scott catching a pitch up and out over the plate. Out over the right center field wall. And next pitch, Adam Jones connects over the 4-10 mark in center field.
Wieters on at first with 1 down, and Scott Moore swings and misses. He's down on strikes, and there's the second out. So Nolasco got ahead of Scott Moore. He puts him away. Second strikeout and 2 away.
That's the thing about Nolasco. He doesn't really walk many people. He's prone to the home run, but he also can be a high strikeout pitcher. He ranked sixth among National League starters last year with just about 10 strikeouts per 9 innings.
Cesar Izturis now, the number 9 batter. And he will loop it towards left center field. That's in for a base hit. Good base running by Wieters. He'll get to third. Trying for 2 is Izturis, and he's in with a double. As Uggla didn't know he was coming, and the throw was off the bag. So there's good hustle for you. Wieters kept going, and so did Izturis.
Yeah, I didn't think Izturis had a chance to get to second base. Kind of a soft line drive out to left center field. Wieters will go from first to third easily. But it didn't look like Izturis was going to have a chance to get to second. Hustling all the way. Throw a little bit off the mark. I think he surprised him.
So Izturis picks up the base hit. Snapping a modest 0 for 5 over the last 2 games. 2 in scoring position for Patterson. And it's low, 1-0.
Yeah, a lot of the early hitters have not had much success against Nolasco. Patterson is one of them. He's 4 for 9 going in. Other than that, not a lot of success. To hide a 4 for 16, that's about it.
The new Marlins manager, interim manager, that's Edwin Rodriguez, promoted from AAA until the permanent manager is hired. Patterson line drive, base hit to center field. Wieters will score as Torres scores a huge 2-out hit. And the Orioles have a 4-0 lead.
I'm not sure it's a coincidence after that throwing incident in the first, but the Oriole offense has come alive. The 2-out base hits. A couple of home runs this inning. And stringing together 5 hits this inning.
Matt Wieters, base hit. Hustle to third, comes in on the base hit. So for Patterson, He took an 0 for 5 in the opener last night, picks up RBIs 7 and 8. Here's Miguel Tejada, the 8th Oriole to bat in the second inning. Patterson runs, and it's foul back. Corey has 10 stolen bases on the year. He has been caught but once. Velasco, there have been 3 steals against him, and the Marlins have caught 3 with him on the mound. Tejada flied out his first at bat. And he takes low, good eye, gets the call, a ball and a strike.
And Velasco really going to that breaking ball after the Orioles turning on his fastball. He's throwing 92, 94.
See if Patterson goes now on the 1-1 pitch. He ran on the first pitch, did not run on that pitch taken outside. Modest lead, draws the throw.
I would think he would have the green light.
Well, he is as good as just about anybody in baseball at stealing bases. 10 out of 11. He doesn't go. And Tejada will lift it to left field. Coghlan in on it, and it falls for a base hit. He trapped it. Patterson trying for third. Here's the throw. He is safe at third base. He got around the tag. Wes Helms argues, and here comes the manager out, Edwin Rodriguez. Somehow Corey got around the tag, and Kerwin Danley did not anticipate the call. Or excuse me, that C.B. Buckner did not anticipate the call.
Edwin Rodriguez right into the frying pan. Somewhat of a throwing incident early already. Now an argument. It's like one heck of a slide. It's a great takeout slide of Gary Allenson to boot. He almost makes up the slide as he go along. It's Coghlan has a fine throwing arm. Patterson just tries to duck in and around.
Wow, that's a real good call.
And you can just see him take out Allenson and somehow get back to third base.
I'm not sure you're allowed to do that.
Take out the third base coach?
I don't think that's in the rule book.
It's not a double play situation, you know.
I don't know.
What a slide.
That might be regarded as help.
Actually, well, you're right. I think Allenson probably slowed him down a little bit, able to get back to third.
Randy St. Clair, the pitching coach, is out to the mound to calm down Velasco. Corey Patterson, well, he was determined. A good throw and he's out. Better throw and he's out.
Well,
the throw got there pretty quick.
It was a pretty good throw. I just think that Patterson just made an exceptional slide, really going by the bag by feet, not inches.
So here's an interesting matchup. Nick Markakis, the 9th batter to bat. And he was the player that Velasco picked out to retaliate and send a message for what the Marlins obviously perceived was Jeremy Guthrie throwing at 2 of their hitters last night on purpose. Last night, Guthrie hit the number 3 batter and the number 4 batter. Markakis bats third. And he takes low, 1-0. So Velasco waited until 2 outs and none on in the first inning where Markakis could not hurt him.
Yep.
Threw behind him.
Yeah, that's all the signs of a retaliation. 2 outs, nobody on. Their best hitter got hit. Our best hitter was thrown at.
Pulled, that is a foul ball down the line and just foul. Kerwin Danley looked it over and raised the arms, foul.
And frankly, that will throw a pitcher off sometimes when he feels that pressure from his other teammates. You know, that you have to stand up. You know, our best hitter has been plunked a couple of times. Guthrie's hit a couple along the way. Many times it'll either come from the manager, will say, you know, we need you to do something. Many times it's left alone and up to the players themselves, and sometimes peer pressure from your teammates will suffice.
Runners on the corners with 2 down, a 4-run inning. Breaking ball in there for a strike, and it's 1-2.
Remember the game here with Seattle, the brawl years ago with Mike Mussina involved, and you know, the outcome in that. I think the day before, might have been Chris Bosio hit a couple of the Oriole players, and you know, Sutcliffe was on that club, and he was a big proponent of, you know, sort of standing up for your players in that way. Messina hit, I can't remember now who he hit, but it ended up being about a 20-minute brawl, and the result was Ripken almost came out injured. He had a bad knee. I think it was an off day or something involved. The next day he had a little bit of time, but and that's one of the reasons that managers have different philosophies. I know when Weaver was manager, he didn't believe in it at all. So let's just beat them on the field, and we won't forget. And actually make them sweat a little bit and wonder if we are going to retaliate.
2-2 is outside. And the other part of that is if you do go after opposing players, and, you know, Jeremy Guthrie, we won't know whether he did or not. I mean, he's been wild, 7 wild pitches. I mean, Joe Girardi got on him in spring training for hitting a couple of guys. His ball runs and he hits batters. But the truth is, if you're Nolasco, you've now maybe put one of your teammates at risk.
No, right. Again, as I said, there's no warning involved, and so it really does still leave the door open.
Tejada will go on the 3-2 pitch, and a high fly ball to center field, playable for Cody Ross. He'll wait for it now, and he has it for the out, and the inning ends. But the Orioles bat around and score 4 times to get an early lead. Luke Scott started at his 11th, and the very next pitch, Adam Jones hit his 10th. We're through 2, 4-0 O's. Juan Samuel joining us from the Orioles bench. And Juan, batting around inning, 5 hits and 4 runs. It's been a while since then, but boy, what a break for Brian Mattis getting a big early lead.
It was very nice to see, us get some key base hits, and his story is nice base running there, aggressive. So it's so nice to see us with an early lead for Brian.
Well, Juan, I wanted to ask you, do you think the scouting report on Nick Markakis was to pitch him low and behind?
Well, we hope that was not the case, but if that's the case, he sure woke us up.
There's a bounce at a shortstop off the bat of Paulino, and 1 down.
Well, that's certainly what we were alluding to. It just seemed like after that, and I know those kind of incidents can be a uniting factor sometimes for a club.
There's no doubt. Sometimes you need that to wake everybody up, and yes, you don't want to see anybody get hurt, especially one of our best players like Mickey, but he woke us up, and that's fine.
We'll have to send a thank you note over.
Exactly.
That is a real interesting point, because it's obviously been a real tough season for the Orioles, and the 25 guys in uniform plus you and your coaching staff, you live it every day. And after a while, it's got to get old with the same thing. And if you feel disrespected, I would think that's a good way to leap forward and take advantage of it.
There's no doubt. The way we started, and the down, and yes, these guys are trying, pushing, and day after day, you see in the same resort. And we know they're putting the time in. So we just think it's a matter of time before things start coming our way.
Yeah, it just seems like it's something that you just have to build on day by day.
We have to, when this game build on that, like you said, continue to push, take it day at a time and a bat at a time before you know you got a nice winning streak going.
Juan, you were a hitter for a long time. Are you of the belief that hitting is contagious, that maybe after an inning like that could lead to a game like that?
It's no doubt it is. You know, I mean, how many times we see that a couple guys hitting good, you know, in the lineup, but it takes the pressure off some of the other hitters, especially our young guys, to relax and just let their hands work.
Well, Juan, we appreciate the visit as always. We'll let you get back to your job down there, and thanks. And add on. I like how you're thinking there.
You're very welcome, guys.
All right, thanks. That's Juan Samuel, Wired Wednesday, joining us from the bench. Always very accommodating. Nice to have him on after a 4-run inning.
Yeah, perfect timing.
Coghlan, meantime, with a base hit to center field. That is the third Marlin hit, all singles, against Brian Mattis.
Yeah, the only left-hander in the lineup against Mattis, and that sometimes is kind of odd. You see right-handed hitter after right-handed hitter, and that left-hander comes up there, and it just looks different to you.
Gabby Sanchez now has had a good series. Oh, good off-speed pitch there, 0-1. Yeah, it's kind of amazing when you see the result of what he just did there. And change-ups on first pitch of at-bats fascinate me because the hitter hasn't seen a pitch yet. And you're curious, what are you changing up from?
Yeah,
obviously, he was looking for something else.
Well, it's probably one of the reasons that some of the Marlins people were telling us today that they have such trouble with left-handers. They were saying how Jamie Moyer just baffles them, that they can change speeds and really gets them off balance. But you're right, it's an odd pitch. You don't see many people throw, unless they have good changeup, first pitch changeups, because you're right. If you just throw in a BP fastball or something just a little bit off speed, it's right on time. But they've got it's like an internal clock on what that velocity should be.
0-2 pitches low. Yeah, our friends from the Marlins were wondering if you and Scott McGregor might somehow get activated for this series because of how effective you might be against their lineups even now.
Yeah, I could probably pitch if they needed to pitch a game, but it would take about, well, maybe 2 years to recover.
That's okay.
It's the recovery time in this game that's the problem. It's when he played once a week, I could play.
1-2 pitch, high fly ball to left field. He got a lot of it. Patterson is back, and that ball is gone. That's out of here. 2-run home run. And the Marlins come right back and chip into it. And it's a 4-2 Oriole lead. So Gabby Sanchez now sitting 7 straight. He's got 2 hits tonight after 2 hits last night.
I mean, they have some problems with left-handers, but there's a few Marlins in the lineup that have outstanding numbers against lefties. So it's not a collective team-wide. It's just actually the middle of their orders had problems. Up and out over the plate and about halfway up the lower deck.
So Mattis serves up the 10th home run on the year.
Very nice.
Gabby Sanchez hits his 8th. And Ramirez now breaking ball down low.
10th home run of the year for Mattis.
Sanchez called out on strikes in the first inning. The lone strikeout so far in the game for Brian Mattis, who averages just over 7. 23-year-old left-hander for the Birds. Good pitch there, down and in, 1-1.
It's kind of funny watching good players. If you watch Henley Ramirez, he really does a lot of the things that Manny Ramirez does. He bends over, double taps the plate, pulls that front sleeve back, and just slides the back. It's a good hitter imitating an outstanding hitter, or 2 outstanding hitters. But they do the same thing over and over again. They'll do that bend over at the waist, double tap, pull the front sleeve, and then take the bat back to the hitting position.
Well, he was a young prospect in the Red Sox system when Ramirez was a star there.
I think the hair's a little shorter, so it doesn't make a great comparison. But the setup is just about identical. Just watching him last night, Ramirez, of course, one of the best right-handed hitters I've ever seen.
Both from the Dominican Republic.
And that's what also makes sense. That's why you see a lot of the young Dominicans throwing like Pedro Martinez, that low three-quarter angle. Sort of national heroes.
3-1 on Ramirez, 1 out, none on. And he walked the ball 4 outside. And Wieters out to the mound for a quick chat with Brian Mattis. CareFirst Blue Cross Blue Shield makes a $25 donation to Kennedy Krieger Institute for every strikeout recorded by an Orioles pitcher. And so far this season, Oriole pitchers have recorded a total of 407 strikeouts, which means CareFirst Blue Cross Blue Shield is that much closer to reaching their $25,000 goal for the season. We thank CareFirst Blue Shield for their commitment to improving the health of the kids in the community through wellness education programs. One out walk. And here's Jorge Cantu, the cleanup hitter, representing the tying run.
Well, certainly in this series, and again, we're only about a game and a half into it. The second inning seems to be the inning to pay attention to. Orioles with 4 tonight, and 3 last night in the second inning.
Yeah, the difference in the game last night is Florida got 6 add-on runs late in the game, and the Orioles managed just 1 after the second inning. Ball and a strike on Cantu. Breaking ball misses. Nice block there by Wieters. Hot night. Was 97 when I got here this afternoon. 2-1 the count on Jorge Cantu. And a throw to first. Ramirez back. Hanley has 13 steals on the year. He's been caught 4 times.
The eyes of a base stealer.
Doesn't go. This ball's hit the left field and well. Back is Patterson, and that ball is gone. Another 2-run home run, and we are tied just like that. Mattis gives it right back. So Cantu came into this game 0 for his last 19. He is 2 for 2, and he's just hit his 100th career home run.
10th on the year. The fastball grip up and out over the plate. Thigh high, and Cantu gets right into it and gets to the park of Camden Yards. The ball really does seem to carry well right over that Budweiser sign.
A single, then a home run, then a walk and a home run, and a visit on the mound.
You can almost read Rick Krantz's lips. The fastball down. It's hard to throw ground ball homers.
So Juan Samuel watched his team rally and bat around and score 4, and the Marlins come right back.
You can see Cantu talking to someone. Think you can get that ball for me? He's either talking to a security guard or one of the Marlins personnel.
Milestone home run. Fastball's high to Dan Ugler. And there's a strike, 1-1. There's the fan that has that souvenir ball, talking with one of the ushers.
And my guess there'll be some sort of an exchange going on, or barter.
High pop-up as Ugla had the home run swing. Tejada near the stands will run out of room. About 8 rows back. Ugla with 14 home runs. Leading the Florida team after hitting 31 last year. This ball hit to left field. Corey Patterson over, has a play, and puts it away for the second out. So 2 men down as Ugla's retired. He's 0 for 2.
What a book on Ugly. Obviously, there's a lot of breaking stuff off speed. He jammed himself on that breaking ball. Still hit it a long way.
Well, 2 down, and Cody Ross will bat, the 7th Marlin here in the 3rd inning. Ross popped up to short his first at bat. The Marlins have pretty good balance in their lineup. Hanley Ramirez is regarded as their star. I guess he has earned that reputation. But you look at the balance in their lineup, and even Cody Ross, he's got 6 home runs, batting 6. But last year he had 24. And anytime you could get that kind of balance up and down the lineup.
All right, you got a batting champion, you got a rookie of the year. I really like Stanton, who's the right fielder from now, just 20 years of age. He added in a couple of veterans like Wes Helms along the way. They said the problem has really not been the offense, so probably not clicking on all cylinders, but really the bullpen. I mean, specifically the bullpen.
1-2 on Ross. And a called strike 3 as Mattis gets the call in the outside corner, but not before the Marlins get a pair of 2-run home runs to get even. Mid-third at Camden Yards in a 4-4 game. Each team with a 4 spot, and fans in the crowd are celebrating the American victory today in the World Cup. The 1-0 win late that gets them into the next round. Highlights were just shown on the scoreboard here. After having a goal taken away, which seems to be a trend against the Americans in this tournament.
Referees and stuff are having a very bad year.
Ty Wigginton leading off, and he takes high ball 2-2 into the count. Scott and Jones will follow as the Orioles now try to get the lead back. Velasco has life. And Wigginton to left field. Back on it is Coghlan. That's over his head and will bounce against the wall. Wigginton is hustling towards second base, and he is in with a leadoff double. So the Orioles are coming right back on Velasco and have the go-ahead run in scoring position with nobody down. Time now for our AT&T Mobility Trivia question. The 1998 Orioles were the only team in history to field a batting order with 4 300-plus home run hitters. Who were they? Well, let's see. I was here for that, so let me think.
4 300 home run hitters.
Cal. Eric Davis, I believe.
Harold Baines.
Baines could be a possibility. Maybe B.J. Surhoff. Did B.J. get 300 home runs?
I think so.
Let me see. Cal, I'm not. No books are out. I'm just,
no, if you saw our faces, you'd see how the blank look that's on there.
Cal's definitely one. Eric Davis. I'm going to say, what about Brady? Did Brady get 300? No, he had 50 in 1 year. I'm going to say Surhoff.
I got Baines, though. Throw Baines.
And Baines. All right, let's see the answer to it. Last night we got it real easy, which is why the question's harder tonight. Oh, I forgot about Joe Carter and Palmero. Gee, we were only half wrong. That's right. Joe Carter was here for that 1 year. In fact, I think he was traded before the year was out. Meantime, 2-0 on Luke Scott. See, if I was allowed to use my books, I'd be really good at this game.
That's right. Jeopardy would be a really easy game to play if you had, had books.
You don't do what Palmer does, right? By giving them the questions so you'll win.
Palmer does that?
Oh, that's what I've heard.
No. Okay. I like the challenge.
3-0 on Luke Scott with a runner at second. And a foul back. In the second inning, Luke Scott got the Orioles on the board.
The ball's been flying tonight. Luke Scott, a breaking ball out over the plate, deposited in the right center field stands. And one pitch later, Adam Jones would do the same to center field.
3-1 the count as he fouls back the 3-0 pitch. Wigginton at second with none down.
And there's been some real solid contact by the Oriole offense against a pretty good pitcher.
Well, good cut there, fouled it straight back.
Just seems that just the swings that have turned up, the intensity in the swings, and a little bit more ferocity. Juan Samuel seemed to sense it also since the ball behind Markakis.
So from 3-0 to a full count on Luke Scott. Who had just 4 hits in the last 6 games, but is homered here tonight. Velasco has slowed down his pace on this warm night, although he should be accustomed to this, pitching his home games in Miami.
Yeah. I don't know if you ever get used to it. You deal with it. I don't know if you get used to it.
Three and 2 on Scott. And he got him. All-speed breaking ball. Luke couldn't reach it. So from 3-0, and Velasco comes back with a big out, getting his 3rd strikeout. So the runner holds at second with 1 down. Don't forget, tomorrow, first 15,000 fans, 15 and over, in the finale of the game against the Marlins, receive an Adam Jones mini bobblehead. The bobblehead part of the series interlocking outfield set. This is number 2, so don't miss your chance to add your collection. For tickets, 888-848-BIRD or get online, Orioles.com. And here is Adam Jones, who homered his last at bat. Bouncer towards third. Helms, the short hop. Will get it across to get Jones. So in each at bat, Jones guessing on the first pitch. He homered his last at bat. Now a sharp ground ball at third and 2 down.
It wasn't that easy a play for Wes Helms. Tall, high chopper. They have to have that short pick. Watch him go in and make a snag at it. Pretty good play. This club is not known as a great defensive club. Matter of fact, they're last in the National League in fielding percentage.
There's Wieters with 2 down. Takes ball 1. Wieters, they're looking for him to turn it on. Juan Samuel trying to use him in a little bit of a different way. And with Jake Fox here now, they can DH him having that other catcher. And the other thing about Matt Wieters is he's only been in the big leagues a little over a year. It's a tough league to learn in.
Well, you know, when you're playing, I don't care how much you play in college or the minor league season is shorter. The major league season, we talk a lot about pitch count. You got to remember that he has to squat down and catch every one of those, not only the starting pitchers, the relief pitchers. So if you go back and if there's 150 pitches thrown by the Orioles on a given night, he's going up and down after each one of them. And that will definitely take its toll on your legs. Again, when the season gets like it is now in the mid-90s, you'd see a lot of players, especially catchers, lose 10, 15 pounds just during the course of the summer. Wearing the extra equipment on a day that's 95, it's like, go home and put your Parker on and go back there and squat down and be comfortable and hit. I mean, it's just not an easy position to play. It's I think the most demanding, easily the most demanding position on the field.
Brent Tatum is back up. And Matt was called up May 29th of last year. So he just passed his 1-year anniversary. He's almost a month beyond that. And there's a strike, 3-2.
Yeah, you can figure out how many squats he's done over those. How many games has he played? You know, multiply that by 150 times. You can figure out how many squats he's done. Never mind catching in the bullpen or between innings and all the rest.
And he had only 169 games in the minors. Yeah. Wiggins in at second, led off with a double.
Yeah, just a little bit over a full season.
And it's inside ball 4. There's a nice patient at bat for Matt Wieters. When you start hitting, you're seeing the ball better, you feel more confident. And Wieters takes the walk.
Yeah, take a look at Nolasco's delivery. Sort of rolls out with that left leg and hip. It's a little bit of a long stride, a little bit towards his heel. But he gets everything into every pitch. Pitch count approaching 60 here in the third.
Here's Scott Moore, 2 on and 2 down. Curveball bends in there for a strike. Scott struck out his first at bat. All 3 strikeouts have been swinging strikeouts for Nolasco, whose strikeouts are actually down 2 per game from his career numbers this year. Fouled off the opposite way.
I think he had 10 or more strikeouts 5 times last year. Has not gone over 10 this year in any start. He's had 9 a couple of times.
Well, the bullpen is getting busy. There's Alejandro Sanabria, who's just called up.
Interesting move.
And Moore goes down on strikes. He's 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts. That ends the threat. A double, a walk, and 2 men left. We're through 3, and the Marlins and O's are tied at 4.
Friends with Brian Mattis, who pitched in the 2009 Futures game. And Brian told me just being a part of that atmosphere was quite an experience to pitch in front of all those big leaguers and knowing that people around the world were watching. Now, Britton has contacted Mattis and asked him about what it's like to pitch in the big leagues. And Mattis told me, he said, I'm honest with him. I told him it's not very easy. There is sort of a learning process. It's difficult at times. And we've seen that from Brian Mattis here tonight as he struggled there in the inning, giving up 2 multi-run homers. Jim?
All right, Amber, thanks very much. And that is a real good opportunity for Zach Britton as Stanton just swung from his heels and came up empty, because you know how you're coming along within your league. You're in the Eastern League. You see those teams all the time. But now you're not only going to be on an all-star team, you're on basically a world all-star team, because the way the team is set up, it's the U.S. versus the world. And it gives you an idea of just how good your stuff is and how your repertoire has come along.
Well, Brooks Robinson used to say that all the time. Mike, there's no higher league. This is it. This is where the cream of the crop, the best of the best. And that's a hard thing to get through for a young player to break through. You know, a lot of these players idolized or had favorite players of theirs, and you know, next thing you know, he's on your team or you're pitching against him. It was one of the hardest things for me to get through. You know, to be in the same clubhouse with Brooks Robinson and Lou Powell and Paul Blair. You know, those are guys that I had idolized.
And for a guy like Zach Britton, who is having tremendous success at Bowie, and there's no doubt about it, he's doing exactly what you want a prospect to do. As this ball is hit deep to left field, but foul. There are some things that he still needs to improve on before he gets to this level, and the sooner he figures that out, the better it is for him and for the Orioles.
Right. The more you can learn about the inner workings of the game. Again, once you get to the big leagues, the players that are experienced have such an advantage over the inexperienced.
3-2 pitch, he got him. So Stanton can't catch up to it. And there's strikeout number 3, 1 away in the 4th inning.
See that split sort of finger fastball grip, little spread in the fingers. Stanton can't catch up with it.
1 away, and Mattis now will go to work on Wes Helms.
So it's kind of funny when you pitch in AAA against stars of the AAA level, and then you go up to the big leagues. And now you go from the star in AAA to sort of the last man on the staff or the new guy on the staff. And the same as if, you know, an everyday player at AAA goes to the big leagues. Now you're actually happy to face that AAA player that you knew because he's like way down the list. It's funny how it changes.
And Mattis last year, when he was promoted to the Orioles, he was in AA, so he really made a big jump.
Right. And that's the hardest thing, is really the experience of the player. You know, sometimes in AA or AAA, you go, you know, you get ahead 0-2, you bounce the curveball, they all swing at it, or the majority of them swing at it. You come up here, he takes it, and he took it again. And now it's 2-2. Now it changes everything. The count really is the whole game.
And for a player like Zach Britton, who is a sinker baller, there are other things that you need as a starter at this level to succeed long term, and that is a multiple of pitches that you can throw for strikes. And the better part of that would be in any count.
Right.
Which is why Jake Arrieta burst on the scene so quickly this year. Ground ball towards the middle. Sturz diving stop. He got up. He'll fire, and he got him with a nice stretch by Wigginton on the back end. As Sturz takes away a base hit from Helms and 2 down.
Yeah, what Sturz does so well is how quickly he can get to his feet.
Now for our Home Depot, doing more on defense, more saving, more doing, the power of Home Depot.
Yeah, you can see how he pulls both legs right up underneath him, and he's able to get to his feet so quickly. Well, he's not down very long. Right back up on his feet. Accurate sidearm throw. So he had a fine year defensively.
Strike taken by Ronnie Paulino, the number 9 batter. So Sturz helps out his pitcher, takes a base hit away. Breaking balls low, 1-1. And when you made that first jump, was it as noticeable on the field as you're just describing?
Oh, absolutely. I thought I knew it all when I was in AAA, and I realized I knew nothing when I got to the big leagues. And when I got to the big leagues and the runner at first base took a short lead, in the minor leagues, that runner's not running. In the big leagues, that's the guy that ran. You know, they would lull you into it.
2-1 pitch is popped up. Shallow right. Wigginton backs out. Here comes Scott Moore. He's got a better angle. Second baseman has it. And Mattis has his second 3-up, 3-down inning. Led to the bottom of the 4th in a 4-4 game. That continues.
I'm enjoying this ride. I just wanted to make sure that we continue to do what we're doing. If it happens, it happens. But I'm not losing any sleep over it. I got a job to do on the field. I'm the manager right now, and I have 25 guys in that locker room that I need to answer to.
And he really is doing a very good job. And as he was told, and Andy McPhail told everybody on the day that he replaced Dave Tremblay, he's the interim. It could be 3 days, could be 3 weeks, could be 3 months, could be 3 years. But the search is on, and until they decide permanently which direction they're going to go, Juan Samuel is the manager. Cesar Torres fouls it back, leading off in the Oriole fourth.
Well, you can really see the outlook, and certainly the look on Juan Samuel's face is much different than the look on Dave Tremblay's face before. The last couple of weeks, maybe the last month that Dave was the manager, you could just see how it was chewing him up, eating him up day to day. But Juan knows that he's interim. I don't think they're going to go out and get another interim manager, so he's going to be pretty comfortable. He knows how long the season is. He's going to be able to take maybe a little easier look at it, and not accepting, accepting the losing easier.
0-2 pitch is skied to left field. Right there is Chris Cogley. Now in a couple of steps. One away in the Oriole fourth. Sunday, first 20,000 fans 15 and over receive a replica throwback 1970 Orioles cap presented by DAP. All kids 14 and under will have the chance to run the bases following the game. The Nats are in town at 1:35. So gather up the family. Come on out to Camden Yards, 888-848-BIRD, Orioles.com for your tickets. Cartoon bird cap.
Well, kind of an interesting sidelight about Juan Samuel. I don't know how many people saw that Jamie Moyer allowed his 505th home run last night. I think taking the all-time leader, tied, that's right, tied Robin Roberts for the most home runs allowed. The first home run that Jamie Moyer gave up was to Juan Samuel. Going back to, let's see, June 23rd, 1986.
So Jamie was a young Cub and Juan was still with the Phillies.
Well, yeah, and I think Jamie Moyer is 47, and I just looked it up. Actually, Juan Samuel's 49 and has been out of the game for 12 years. It's just kind of amazing. Yeah, in that game, I think that Juan went 3 for 5 with 6 RBIs, and the Phillies beat the Cubs 19-1.
That was in the era before Jamie Moyer figured it out.
That was the year before the super change, which he really developed here. Was that I had Jamie when I was a pitching coach, and he tried to pitch in a lot with his fastball. I said, Jamie, you're whacking your head against the wall. It's not going to be successful. You have a great changeup.
Broken back ground ball past the mound. There's Hanley Ramirez. He bobbles it and he won't get it. Now there is one of the differences since Juan Samuel took over is the urgency to the players to run out every ground ball. Now that was a playable ball, broken back, but because he knew that he was running hard, he may be bobbled.
Well, you can see the pressure, the speed puts on the defense. And it's also, if you watch that ball that's hit back up the middle, it just catches the corner of the mound, and I would guess it would put some sideways spin and seem to come back at Ramirez. But you can't misplay a ball with Patterson going down the line. You have to catch it cleanly and do everything right, or he's safe.
The Marlins are the worst fielding team in the National League, and that is error number 10 for Ramirez. Miguel Tejada now takes fastball for a strike. Miguel singled in the second inning, was left stranded. He's 1 out of 2. He has 12 hits over the last 9 games. Takes high, 1-1. Mary Allenson going through some signs at third base. Let's see if there's a play on. Mike mentioned if Corey wants to run, he runs, but sometimes you might wait to see if there's the hit and run on. Draws a throw and he's back easily. This actually isn't a bad combination to do this because Miguel serves the ball the other way pretty well.
Oh, he's the best opposite fielder, right field hitter on the club.
There's your best base stealer.
Yeah, and with the speed of Patterson, the shortstop second base combination has to cheat even more towards the bag.
Runner goes, swinging a bouncer slowly and past the mound. Ramirez charges, barehanded pickup, and he gets to Hanley. So after an error, a fine play by Hanley. Ramirez 2 down, and Patterson ends up at second base. Well, on this date in baseball history, June 23rd. Let's go back to 1971. Phillies pitcher Rick Wise becomes the first pitcher to hit 2 home runs while throwing a no-hitter. He earned his money that day. And then in 1979, adding to their Orioles magic lore, the O's sweep a doubleheader from Detroit in their final at-bats. 1981, the longest game in professional baseball history was finished between Rochester and Pawtucket. The game started 6 weeks earlier. 32 innings, 8 hours and 7 minutes, suspended at 4:07 a.m., tied at 2. And then they resumed it on this date and finished it, in 18 minutes? Cal went 2 for 13. That'll kill your average. Pawtucket won it in 33 innings.
Amazing game. There's been books written about that game.
And 2 future Hall of Famers as minor leaguers, Wade Boggs and Cal Ripken in that game. Here's Markakis, and he takes a strike.
Yeah, the game ended at 4:07. I can remember one of the stories. I think a pitcher for the Red Sox, obviously pitching for Pawtucket then. I think it was Louis Aponte. And he came home at like 5 o'clock in the morning, and his wife said, "Where have you been?" He said, "At the ballpark."
Markakis takes high, 1-1. Nick would love to join the hit parade here, in particular because of Nolasco throwing behind him to send a message in his first at-bat. Nick and Moore are the only 2 without a hit in the lineup so far. Bounce it back, 1-2.
Yeah, Marlin in the order had a base hit last night.
Markakis is really amazing with his consistency, and I know there's been a lot of talk about the power, and he's hit 3 home runs, but base hits are supposed to be okay as well, and he is as good as anyone in the league at getting those base hits and avoiding long slumps. I mean, he's got 8 multi-hit games just this month, just in June.
Oh, the thing about being a great hitter, you have to really, it's muscle memory. It's the same thing every night. Same sort of setup. Same approach, same intensity.
Bouncer off the glove of Nolasco. He runs it down, picks it up, and gets it to first just in time to get Markakis. So he takes away a possible base hit, ends the inning. Error man left. We're through 4 on a warm night in Baltimore in a 4-4 game. Pep Boys. Tires, parts, and full service. Pep Boys does everything for less. Lovely summer night in the Inner Harbor. And a good game going on here at Camden Yards. There's the moon overhead. 4-4 game heading to the 5th.
And another minute bites the dust. Into the sunlight.
There you go. There's the youngsters enjoying baseball. That's what it's all about, the kids at the ballpark. What a great shot of kids having fun, and they got to be on television.
They don't know it. Maybe till they get home.
There's a strike taken by Chris Coughlin. Coughlin, Sanchez, and Ramirez, the top of the lineup. This has been an interesting night for Mattis as he navigates his way through the Marlins lineup. The first 4 hitters in the lineup, beginning with Coughlin, are 5 for 7 with a walk, 2 home runs, and 4 RBIs. From number 5 down, they are combined 0 for 10. So all of the damage done by the top 4 hitters, the other 5 batters have not even been on base.
Just trying to look, barely have a ball out of the infield.
Coughlin singled and scored in the 3rd. That got the rally going. Orioles took a 4-0 lead in the 2nd. Marlins got 4 back in the top of the 3rd. This one line to center field. Jones is there. And reaches up and has it for the out. And 1 away in the Florida 5th. 2110 Utah Street, presented by Home Savings of America and Southwest Airlines, returns to Oriole Park on Sunday. The Birds will host the Nationals at 1:35, and for one low price, fans get a reserved Utah Street bleacher seat plus an exclusive 2110 Utah Street t-shirt. Nick and Adam will also toss baseballs to the crowd between innings. Fans can enjoy special promotions, prizes, and more. Now, space is limited. For your tickets, 888-848-BIRD or online at Orioles.com. Abby Sanchez up. 2 for 2. He singled at a 2-run home run. Now it's a 7-game hitting streak. This got them on the board in the 3rd inning.
Now go back to the 3rd. Fastball up and out over the plate. Halfway up that lower deck.
Broken bat. Ball hit to left field. Corey Patterson has it. And 2 away here in the 5th inning.
He's broken a few bats tonight. He's thrown a few more curveballs, I would say, than normal, but when he's come in hard. It's that spread out stance. That's the first thing he does is look at that handle.
Mattis has 3 strikeouts. He has walked only 1. The 1 walk did score. That was this batter, Hanley Ramirez, in the 3rd inning. Strike taken on the outside corner. That's a real good pitch for the first pitch of an at-bat. That down and away fastball. You rarely see hitters go after it.
Well, it's a high information pitch. I mean, if you can throw it on the corner, if he doesn't go down and cover it, you can tell he's pulling off, and you can just stay out there.
Goes right back to the same spot.
That's why I'm trying to, and we talked about it. It's one of the reasons that Ramirez, how can such a talented hitter be hitting 200? Sometimes you lose perspective of that outside corner. There may be a case you don't have to do anything different. Many times you'll see a pitcher throw everything he has to every single hitter. Sometimes you can throw 3 fastballs away, and the hitter can't do anything about it.
The 0-2 is a little bit further outside. He doesn't chase. 1-2. Ramirez has struck out and walked. Mattis working on this warm night. Here's the 1-2 pitch, and just off the corner. 2-2.
Think of this. Look at Mattis's delivery. Gets it a pronounced slow leg lift, then loads, and then really comes at the hitter. Part of the reason that's such great deception between that fastball changeup, that slow leg lift.
Now, what does that do? Does that keep you in balance? Does that keep you moving towards the target?
The thing is, you can have a slow leg lift, and I'm a big proponent of that, especially the way Mattis does it. But what you don't want to do is to slow your arm down. Sometimes you go slow with your leg, then your arm comes out slowly. You want to give it time to get your arm up and loaded. So that's just a slow leg lift, and you still don't get the ball out of the glove. It's not going to do any good.
Ground ball towards short on the 3-2 pitch. Soares gobbles it up, gets it to first, and there's a 3-up, 3-down inning. Second in a row and third in the game for Ryan Mattis. Middle of the fifth at Camden Yards and a 4-4 game. In the game, and the hitters have had a lot to say in this game. 4 home runs total. All 4 of the Marlins runs on those home runs, and 2 of the 4 for the Orioles.
Yeah, crooked numbers. You just need more innings like that. Can't be content to have that and then just sort of go dormant.
Ty Wigginton will lead it off. Doubled his last at bat, was left stranded. The Orioles have gone in order in this game only once, and that was in the bottom of the first. Ball 1 outside. And there's a strike taken all the way, 1-1. Velasco's 27 years old in his 5th season. Down and away. Ty Wigginton, he'll get a lot of support to be the Orioles All-Star this year. Had a huge month of May for the Birds. Still leads the team in RBIs with 39 and in home runs with 13, although Luke Scott and Adam Jones are starting to press him a little bit.
He's cooled off with a long ball, but he still has just very patient, I want to say quality at bats.
2-2 on Wigginton. Fouls it back. Adam Jones will probably get a lot of support because he was the Orioles All-Star last year. I still am on the Jason Birkin bandwagon. I think of all the players, he has been the most consistent. And just because he's in the bullpen and maybe doesn't have gaudy numbers, he certainly has been valuable to this team. He's done the role they've asked him to do. 2-2 to Wigginton, and he got him. There's strikeout number 5, 1 away in the 5th inning, and Luke Scott coming up. Here's our Ford drive of the game. Your local Ford dealer invites you to experience Ford like never before. Ford, drive one.
Yeah, a couple of no-doubters in that inning. Luke Scott again breaking ball on the outside part. Deposited well up the right field stands.
So Luke has 11 home runs on the year. What the Orioles would love to see was like last May 25th through the 31st when Luke hit 6 home runs in the week. He did hit 25 home runs last year to lead the team.
That seems like he can get red hot and go red cold.
He really hasn't had one of those surges this year. He home runs in back-to-back games against the Red Sox the 23rd and 24th of April. Then he did it again in Washington against the Nats on May 21st and May 22nd. Those are the only games this year in which he has hit back-to-back home runs, and there are the numbers over the last 2 months. 7 home runs in May, 2 in June.
Yeah, the average has been pretty consistent, just the power number is a little different.
It's outside.
See Velasco's shaking his head a little bit. That's when he gets into a poor groove and he starts getting around that breaking ball, not staying on top of it. It's coming up to 283, so starting to get a little bit of dangerous territory.
There's the new manager, Edwin Rodriguez, who was at AAA. He's the interim manager. And that is high. 2-2 on Luke Scott. The best surge for Luke this year, he had 4 home runs in 6 days from May 12th through the 18th. And this one is swept to first base, played on a hop by Gabby Sanchez. He goes to the bag and 2 down. Tonight's Maryland Lottery Hit It Here fan of the game is Tina Jacobs of Hurlock. If an Orioles player hits the Hit It Here sign located in the bullpen area, Tina will win $100,000. To find out more about how you can become the fan of the game, visit mdlottery.com/hitithere.
Very reachable.
Well, maybe.
I know. I've thrown him that far.
Here's Adam Jones, 1 out of 2 with a home run. Breaking ball for a strike. Orioles have lost 2 in a row and 4 out of 5. Trying to get even in this series. Healthy cut, and he swung through it.
That may have been his best fastball of the evening. 95 on the radar gun. So still has a little bit left in the tank.
Kevin Millwood will pitch for the Orioles tomorrow. He'll go against Nate Robertson. 2 out, none on, 0-2 on Jones. Curve misses off the plate. That take right there, that's a good sign of how much better Adam has seen the ball. That's a pitch that he had been chasing a lot earlier in the year. He has recognized that. In an interesting chat with Amber the other day when the team was in San Diego about laying off those pitches. And he did it again, back-to-back takes.
Keep teasing. That's a pretty good breaking ball to lay off of. Because it seems like for 3/4 of the way there, it's a strike.
Four runs on 7 hits allowed by Nolasco. And he got him. So he went out there 3 consecutive times. Adam took twice, swung through the 3rd, 2 strikeouts in the inning. We'll head to the 6th in a 4-4 game. nice warm summer night. Brian Mattis looking for the win. 4-4 game. We go to the 6th. Cantu, Ugla, and Ross 4, 5, and 6 for the Florida Marlins. And there's a strike. Cantu tied the game in the 3rd.
Yeah, career number 100 for Jorge Cantu. No doubt about it.
2 home runs tonight. Brian's allowed 11 on the year. And there's a strike. Here's the Florida Marlins box score, and there's what we told you. The top 4 hitters have done all the damage. From Ugla down, 5 through 9, 0 for 10. Ground ball foul behind 3rd. And Dale will give that baseball to a youngster. Mickey sure does have fun down there.
Plays the game with a smile.
1-2 on Jorge Cantu. Curveball, high pop up. There's Torres out, Moore out. There's Torres calls, and the shortstop has it 1 away in the Florida 6th.
Yeah, pretty good pitch by Mattis. Things are quieted down. He's at the 90 pitch mark. I think that Juan Samuel has given the starters a little bit more rope along the way. But we were talking earlier certainly about the major league level once you get here. And just talking about Mattis. I know he's lost a career high 7 straight decisions, but he has he's lost as many games, 9 and 22 outings with the Orioles, as he did his entire collegiate career at the University of San Diego. And that's the thing. One of the things you have to learn is really how to lose and to go on and to continue to be successful. If you asked him, probably his entire life as a pitcher, he's probably lost maybe 15 games. He's probably won maybe 100, depending on how many levels he's played at. I remember asking Messina that same question. And he went home and, of course, moosed with his numbers. Had to go home and figure it out. He was something like 130-3 until pro ball. And so, I went back and looked at my own, and I think I had lost 3 games in my career until professional ball.
Bouncer, right back to the mound. Nicely grabbed by Mattis, and 2 away. Well, it's time now for the Chili's game flow. Chili's, it's all in the preparation. And the game flow of this game was back-to-back big innings. Bottom of the 2nd, then top of the 3rd. Birds got a 4-0 lead, batted around, and then Florida came right back and scored 4 of their own. And here we are in the 6th, still tied at 4. Cody Ross. But I think a testament to what you're talking about there, about learning to accept adversity, is how Mattis has hung in here. He's still the same guy, and that's a good sign. There's a ground ball to 3rd. Tejada gets it. 3 up, 3 down. 3rd straight, 3 up, 3 down inning. Mid-6th, we're tied at 4.
It will be the first time that Koji will face live batters since going on the disabled list with the right forearm strain on May 20th. Now, depending on how that simulated game goes, will help Juan Samuel and the organization make a decision whether or not to activate Koji from the DL or send him on a minor league rehab assignment. Now, the rehab assignment seems like probably the logical next step, considering the fact that Koji has not thrown off of a mound yet. He didn't do that in his time down in Sarasota. Now, Jim and Mike, the question will be, of course, is his forearm okay, but also this 95-degree temperatures that he could be asked to pitch in. He's shown the inability to do that in the past. He struggled with the humidity. Jim?
All right, Amber, Matt Wieters takes ball one, and it was last year in the series in Miami against the Marlins in the Interleague where Koji went down, a meltdown, really. I mean, he was pretty much fried. He was still a starter at that time. And it really became obvious how he is just not accustomed to the heat and humidity here. But, you know, Amber brings up a good point as these players are working their way back with Koji Uehara, Jim Johnson, and Michael Gonzalez all working their way back. All of a sudden, if they get back and if they're effective, and you know, Koji certainly has not shown a consistency to staying healthy, but that does create a little bit of a logjam in the bullpen, and that's a very good sign because the three guys coming back, they're almost certainties versus what they may have been trying to piece together.
Right.
As Wieters fouls it back. And again, you'd rather have more players than spots as you look at the Oriole box score. Patterson, 2-run single, and the home runs by Scott and Jones getting the runs in.
Yeah, the offense a little bit more evenly distributed than the Marlins tonight.
Wieters at the plate, and Moore and his tourist will follow. And he swept it foul. Matt has been on base twice tonight. He has singled and walked. Current hitting streak is 3 in a row. Coming into tonight's game, his last 3 hits had driven in 7 runs. A solo home run, a 3-run home run, and a 3-run double. Two is a called strike 3. So Nolasco gets the call. There's a 7th strikeout and 1 away in the 6th inning.
Starting to mound up. And it's that breaking ball, late biter, top of the strike zone. Probably not exactly where he was trying to throw it, but just caught the edge.
He has walked only 1 batter. That was Wieters in the 3rd, and Matt was left stranded. Scott Moore now. Big strike 1. Scott has had a tough night against Nolasco. He has struck out twice. There's a bouncer towards first. Sanchez plays the hop. It hit the lip of the grass, but he played it cleanly and 2 down. Gabby Sanchez nicely done. Nolasco has averaged for the season 1.9 walks per 9 innings.
He's controlled.
You know it's going to be around the plate.
I mean, he's got usually a terrific strikeout to walk ratio. He's a high strikeout pitcher. And sometimes his numbers just don't translate. If you're a high strikeout pitcher, low walk pitcher, you're usually going to have a pretty good success rate.
Cesar Asturias, 1 out of 2 on the night. There's a tapper back towards the mound. Nolasco plays it easily. Underhand toss, bounces, and a scoop by Sanchez. So Sanchez bails out the pitcher, and the Orioles go 3 up, 3 down for a 2nd straight inning. We'll head to the lovely night for baseball at Oriole Park. The moon overhead. And a nice warm summer's evening. And a good game, tied at 4. All the scoring early on. A lot of kids here tonight. It's a dugout club night. There's always a lot of noise and atmosphere that is welcome in the ballpark on the dugout club nights. And you see they have their hats and their lanyards and their pom-poms and their enthusiasm. And that guy with a fan.
Are they human fans?
Fanning the fans. Mike Stanton, Wes Helms, and Ronnie Paulino against Brian Mattis here in the 7th inning. Number foul, first base side. Stanton has had a tough time against Mattis' off-speed stuff tonight. And his last at-bat, he struck out on a fastball after he was kind of lulled to sleep.
Yeah, another player adjusting to the major league level.
David Hernandez now getting loose for the Orioles. Missing low as Mattis, 2-1. .97 pitches, averaging just over 98 per outing. And of course, you have to add the humidity tonight into that.
Yeah. Very humid.
3-1 on Stanton. And it's high ball 4, and there's a leadoff walk. And there's only the second walk allowed by Mattis.
Well, he's done well. We talked about coming into the night. 59, only 59% of the leadoff men retired. He's been much better at it tonight. Some scrambling around the dugout. So
that actually is the first time all night the leadoff man's been on. He had retired 11 in a row following the home run that tied it in the 3rd until this walk. Rick Kranitz on the phone. Jeff Datz, the bench coach, and the skipper. Juan Samuel. There's David Hernandez getting loose. Here's Wes Helms, normally a pinch hitter and occasional starter for the Marlins, getting a chance at third base with the DH. And Mattis misses outside.
He's always been sort of a left-handed killer in his career, too. 350 this year. A home run and a couple of RBIs.
One-time teammate in Atlanta of Kevin Millward's. Stanton has 3 steals in 3 attempts since coming up from the minors. And he's running. Pitch is cued foul, then it bounces fair. And Wigginton goes to the base. Wow, that hit the foul line, and it went back in the fair territory.
It was like a Massey shot in pool.
What a break for the Marlins as they advance the runner.
That's right off the end of the bat. You can see this incredible spin that ball had, like a top. And I'm sure that ball has got a pretty good gouge in it. You can see Wigginton's face. He said, I've never seen anything like that before.
So Wigginton stayed with it, as he should. Stanton was running, so he's at second. The go-ahead run in scoring position with 1 down. Here's Ronnie Paulino. There's a strike. Will Oman now has joined David Hernandez. So the lefty and the righty. Slice to right field. Tough play from Markakis. Back he goes. That is a fair ball, and it bounces into the corner. Stanton will score. Paulino heads to second base, and he has an RBI double, and the Marlins get the lead. But Paulino going the opposite way. It looked like right off the end of the bat. And by the time Markakis got there, bounced for a base hit.
And doesn't think he could throw it down that right field line any better. It was going to be close off the bat. Looks like it is just fair, if not on the chalk line.
So Paulino, the number 9 batter, his 12th double, picks up his 28th RBI. And the Marlins have come back from that 4-0 second inning deficit and now have a 5-4 lead. And another visit on the mound, Rick Kranitz with Matt Wieters and Brian Mattis.
And we'll see how they certainly play this. Looks like Juan Samuel is going to give him a little bit more time. I'm not sure who Will Omen is sort of set up to face.
You know, when you look at the Marlins position player, it's kind of a weird situation with the National League team in the American League Park, because the extra men are so important in the National League games because of pinch hitting. And I'm looking down at the scorecard and I'm wondering, well, there's 4 guys on the bench, one's the backup catcher. Who's going to do any pinch hitting here? It doesn't look like there's anyone that they would lift for a guy on the bench. And here is Coghlan. And Mike Lamb is a very good veteran pinch hitter, but
right, it's more for the starting pitcher. But if your starting pitcher goes deep in the ball games, your pinch hitters and those switches aren't going to really take place.
Coghlan 1 out of 3. He has singled and scored. And Mattis misses high, ball 2.
Pinch hitters for the Marlins have had 96 at bats.
And there's a strike at the knees. Good pitch. 2 balls and a strike on Chris Coghlan, the leadoff hitter. There's Polino at second base. He doubled in the go-ahead run, and the leadoff walk came around the score. And got into scoring position on that cue shot off the bat of Wes Helms.
And again, the difference in the American League, the Orioles have 36 pinch hits, 36 at bats.
Slice to left field. It carries. Patterson back on it. At the wall. It is off the wall. And it gets by Patterson. Heading towards the plate is Polino. And pulling in at second base with a double is Chris Coghlan. Back-to-back RBI doubles, and the Marlins have a 6-4 lead.
Sort of changeup from Brian Masson. This ball really did carry. Patterson stays after it. Just pulls up and lands a couple of feet from the top of the wall.
Paulino, very good base running, went halfway, and as soon as that ball hit the wall, raced around.
I'm sure as Patterson turned his back, he knew it was off the wall.
So Mattis will leave. Hernandez coming on. The Marlins have a runner on, 2 in, 1 out, and a 6-4 lead. Responsibility as well. Struck out 3, walked 2, and 2 home runs, and they were both 2-run home runs. David Hernandez now against Gabby Sanchez. Can't catch up with the fastball, 0-1.
Yeah, David Hernandez's 17th appearance on the year. He's been a starter and a reliever. He's been a closer. He's pitched in the middle of the games. He really has pitched all over. Seems to have found a home generally in the bullpen.
Coghlan leading off second. He has good speed. Scott Moore's trying to keep him close. And I think this is a role that he will really begin to excel at, because the velocity has really increased now that he's pitching out of the bullpen.
Yeah, it really goes up, because what you're saying to yourself, I'm probably going to only go through the lineup once, whether that's 3 innings or 2 innings, and you can just let it go.
95 there. He hit 99 a couple of times on the West Coast trip.
As a starter, when you go out there, the opposition has really have a planned lineup against you. If you have trouble with left-handed hitters, they'll stack the lineup with lefties. But when you come out of the pen, that lineup's already, I guess, entrenched. So you can come in and face another. This is really a very favorable lineup for David Jimenez with only one left-hander. Very tough on right-handers.
1-2 on Sanchez. Just outside. There's something about a power arm coming out of the bullpen to get you through an inning.
Well, you can make more mistakes. You don't have to be as fine when you have power arms.
2-2. And a bluff back to second base.
And just a flash from Scott Moore. You can just see him put his hand out.
Juan Samuel, the interim manager, is still the infield coach as well. He has been working very hard with the infielders. Mike Bordick is here as well. But during the game, he'll yell out to the fielder, do this, do that. And he got him, came off speed. And Gabby Sanchez swung through it. 2 men down.
What is it? Breaking ball. Right down the middle. Would have been a strike if he had taken it. He swings right through it. One thing David obviously has to work on is the consistency of his breaking ball. He throws some terrific ones and some that are not so good.
So 2 down here is Hanley Ramirez. Line to right field. Marquez over, and he's got it for the out. And the inning ends. But the Marlins get 2 more, take a 6-4 lead. 7th inning stretch brought to you by Jack Daniel's Tennessee Whiskey.
At 888-848-BIRD. Visit Orioles.com or stop by your nearest Chick-fil-A location. Jim?
All right, Amber, thank you very much. It is really a great program for families, the Orioles Dugout Club. The youngsters get all the stuff Amber talked about. The parents get discounted tickets. You can come out and have a nice night at the ballpark with your kids and really have a nice evening as a family. It really is a great program. 6-4 game. We go to the bottom of the 7th. Corey Patterson against Ricky Nolasco, who now has a lead. And he gets ahead 0-1. He's retired 8 in a row. The last Oriole to reach was Patterson, who reached on an error with 1 down in the 4th inning. Fouls it back, 0-2. Taylor Tankersley is the left-hander and Scott Strickland the right-hander. Patterson down on the count, no balls and 2 strikes. And he got him. With Patterson down on strikes, there's number 8 for Nolasco, and the second time he's gotten Corey. Well, we invite you to join us this weekend as the Battle of the Beltways version 2 comes to Camden Yards. We'll have wall-to-wall coverage for every Nats and O's fan. You can find Nats Extra with Johnny Holliday and Ray Knight on MASN, O's Extra with Tom Davis and Rick Dempsey on MASN 2 HD, and of course game coverage on MASN HD all weekend long. The Battle of the Beltways, our MASN families come together. Tejada takes outside. Hey, Steven Strasburg's here tonight.
Sitting next to Wieters.
Picked up his foot.
I didn't realize Strasburg was that much bigger than Wieters. No wonder he's doing so well.
There you go. Strasburg lost a tough one today, 1-0 to Kansas City. Tejada singled in the second. He's 1 out of 3. He has 3 hits in the series. Curveball stays inside. Miguel didn't know whether to fall into that one, get out of the way, but he knew he wasn't going to swing.
He didn't expect it to break straight down. He thought it was going to come back out over the plate, and he would have hacked at it for sure.
1 out, none on. Birds down by 2. Fastball misses outside, ball 3. Center field, and that's going to get down for a base hit. Cody Ross will cut it off, and he will hold Miguel Tejada to a single. So Tejada with back-to-back multi-hit games, and the Orioles can get the tying run to the plate. And we've been wondering all night long if Nolasco throwing behind Markakis in the first inning will have any residual effects. Well, that was obviously payback by Nolasco for Guthrie hitting 2 last night, and wouldn't you know it, here in the 7th inning, here comes Markakis representing the tying run.
Yep. We talked about it between innings with Juan Samuel, and I think he agreed with us that he really did bring the club together when those sort of things happen.
Markakis is hitless on the night. He is 0 for 3. It's pretty hard to hit that pitch behind you.
Pretty hard to throw it there.
Yes. Outside, 1-0. Nick has not homered since May the 25th. He would love to get one here and tie this game. It is 92 at-bats ago. But he has been getting his base hits. Got a 6-game hitting streak. He's looking to extend tonight.
And now 0 for 9 lifetime against Nolasco, though. But Nolasco appears to be tiring, so now might be the right time.
110 pitches. See their interim manager looking at Edwin Rodriguez, who was promoted from AAA.
That's the most he's thrown this year.
2-0 is taken for a strike.
Yeah, last 3 starts haven't been over 80. You really have to go back to the beginning of the season, back in April, when he was up over 100 consistently. So he's not a high pitch count guy normally. This 110 is a season high again on a very humid night.
2-1 on Markakis, 1 on, 1 down. Here's a strike. Fastball in the outer part of the plate.
111 pitch, 94, so reaching back, trying to get through the 7th. He also knows he's had a pretty shaky bullpen behind him, so starters are aware that. Try to pick up the club, not to sort of slam your bullpen, but you just know it is what it is.
2-2 in the dirt. Throw behind Tejada. Miguel gets back. McGill was almost caught in no man's land there. When he saw the ball bounce, he aggressively extended his secondary lead that almost got caught.
Well, you kind of lose sight of the catcher when you're running first. You see him just leaning there. You see Tejada, because the ball in the dirt, take a couple of steps towards second. See Tejada sharing a little smile like, almost got you. I'm paying attention. Tejada's saying it back. Nice try. See this little extra hop when the ball's in the dirt.
A couple of fellow
Dominicans. See Tejada look right back at him like, don't try that.
3-2 pitch is hit right out in front of the plate. Paulino goes to first base to get the shore out. Markakis is retired, 2 men down. Just a tapper right out in front of the plate. Randy St. Clair on the phone to see if the bullpen is ready. He's their pitching coach. He was not replaced. 2 of the coaches were when Freddie Gonzalez was fired. The bench coach and the hitting coach went. Tejada at second with 2 down now, and here's Wigginton. Big run out there in the 7th inning.
Yep, now the battle of interim managers.
Wigginton swings through it 0-1.
So I guess at this point we have the more experienced interim manager than the Marlins. Sam Morris clearly enjoyed the opportunities. I'm sure Rodriguez will.
Good hack by Wigginton, fouls it back, and it's 0-2.
There's an adjustment period for the players, too, when you have an interim manager, especially if it comes from within. The dynamics of that dugout really change. You go from a sort of a nurturing position as a coach now to a more position of authority.
Two is outside, and the last 3 Oriole managers all held that interim title. And Sam Palazzo replaced Lee Mazzilli. Then when Dave Tremblay replaced Sam Palazzo, and now Juan Samuel replacing Dave Tremblay. The difference now is Andy McPhail is searching for a permanent manager.
Yeah, sometimes when you have an interim manager situation, it's something that's going to be dealt with at the end of the season.
Buck Showalter did meet with Andy McPhail and Peter Angelos today. So the interview process continues, but Andy is not in any rush to get this done. He wants to make sure he makes the right move. 2-2 the count. Runner at second at 2 down. And a tapper that is a fair ball, and tagged out by Paulino is Wigginton. So the final 2 hitters in the inning hit it right in front of the plate. Base hit, a man left, 6-4 Marlins lead. Run home run. Jorge Cantu, a 2-run home run in the same inning. That tied the game, and the Marlins now have a 2-run lead as we have reached the 8th inning. And here is Cantu against David Hernandez, who retired the final 2 batters of the 7th. Ugla and Ross will follow. 0-2 on Jorge Cantu, who's got a 2-hit game going, including that home run. Hernandez struck out Sanchez and got Ramirez to line out to strand a base runner. He's on in relief for Brian Mattis, who went 6 1/3. And late on that is Cantu. Wow. Now there's what power will do for you.
Absolutely.
Mickey wasn't looking for that.
Look at his 0-2 pitch. That's a 3-part swing. It's a duck, it's a bail, and then it's a really long swing. That's being fooled.
And Hernandez has faced 3 batters. He has struck out 2. Dan Ugla batting, 1 out, none on. Ugla is hitless on the night.
Well, they've kept him kind of quiet in the series.
Breaking ball fouled off.
You can see it buckle Ugla also. So indications a late breaking slider. You almost thought it was at him. Started to be able to get out of the way and then had to get back on it.
Strike call. That's 1-2. Brian Mattis struck out 3 in his 6 1/3. And Hernandez already has 2 strikeouts in 3 batters. High fly ball to right. Marquez is back on it. Backpedaling now, and it carries all the way to the wall. Wow. Nick staying with it, has it for the out, 2 down.
The ball's carried well in this first 2 games of the series. Out to left center, and this one to right center. You can tell when enough that it sort of drifts when it keeps going. But the ball is carrying extremely well. It's probably far enough to be a homer.
I got it. I got it. I got it. I still got it. I think I got it.
I hope I got it. I don't got it.
So 2 down.
That was Carlos Lopez years ago. He would call off the other outfielders. I got it, I got it, I don't got it. And he'd chase it down in the alley.
I thought I got it.
Yeah, Jimmy Fry said, don't call for it so early.
Cody Ross hitless on the night. Hernandez very sharp tonight. This is his first appearance since he suffered the blown save last Friday night in San Diego. Line drive, that'll fall for a base hit. Adam Jones over to cut it off to try to keep it to a single. Bobbles the ball, and it gets past Marquez, and Ross will get to second base. It looked like it might have hit off his knee.
I'm sure this would be scored an error with the advancement, but right here goes down to pick it up. It's off his shin, kicks it away, and Marquez can't change direction quickly enough.
Single and an error. So Ross gets the base hit. He goes to second on the error. That is Jones' 4th error of the year. A big insurance run out there for Florida with 2 down. Time now for you to text in your vote for the AT&T Player of the Game. And the candidates for tonight are Luke Scott, Adam Jones, or Cesar Izturis. Scott is homered, Jones is homered, and Cesar Izturis has a base hit and a run score, plus he's played great defense. Texting your vote now, A, B, or C, to 51862. How about a vote for defense?
I was just thinking the same thing. Combine the 2.
Anybody can hit a home run.
It's 1 pitch.
What about the diving play? Give the defense some love tonight on the AT&T football. Meantime, it's 0-2 on Mike Stanton. Stanton walked and scored his last at-bat.
There's a player that really forced himself into the big leagues. He was called up from AA Jacksonville on June 8th, where he hit 12 doubles, 21 home runs, 52 RBIs in 52 games.
So that gets you noticed?
That'll get you to the big leagues at age 20. Can you imagine the fear he must have struck in those AA pitchers? 6'5", 200, I think he's 230 pounds. Led the league he led all the Southern League. He led the slugging percentage, extra base hits, total bases, intentional walks. And he had 10 intentional walks by June.
1-2 on Stanton. And he got him. David Hernandez right at him and strikes him out. Base hit, error, 1 left. We'll head to the bottom of the 8th. The Birds are down by 2. Night downtown. Orioles and Marlins here at Camden Yards. Birds looking for a couple of runs. And 2 more at-bats. And a pitching change for the Marlins as Taylor Tankersley comes on, the left-hander.
Yeah, making his 12th appearance of the year. Came in last night, faced a one-hitter. Got a nice fly ball to center. Very tough on left-handers and very hittable by right. He's a herky-jerky delivery. See in 5 2/3 innings, 5 hits. Really one of those extreme matchup with the left-handed hitters. The lefties are 1 for 15 off of him. Conversely, the right-handers against Tankersley 4 for 7 or 571. So he is the, I guess if you looked up matchup lefty in the dictionary, his picture would be there.
Grew up in Mississippi, went to college at the University of Alabama. He was drafted by the Marlins in the 27th round. No, excuse me, first round. 27th pick.
In the first round?
Yeah, that's a little different.
Yeah.
It's especially
about
money.
You can say about $8 million. You wish the agents would make those kind of mistakes.
I didn't know I was.
That's a pretty high pick for a matchup lefty.
That's a good point. Well, he's in the big leagues. Here's Luke Scott. And it's inside, 1-0. Luke homered in his first at-bat. Number 11 on the year. Nolasco, real strong outing after that second inning. And really, it was the tale of 2 games for him. It was the other 6 innings.
Yeah, he really went to the breaking ball.
Wes Helms charging over. What an effort, but he couldn't get it. Outstanding hustle there by Wes Helms.
Almost made it, just off the webbing of his glove. Outstanding try. Ended up with a pretty good rug burn as he ended up in the netting. And that's a pretty good safety device to have, just to roll down those dugouts and down the stairs.
Ball and a strike on Scott. Jones will follow, then Adam Wieters. Curveball bends inside, ball 2. So Nolasco is the pitcher of record on the winning side. 4 runs on 8 hits. He struck out 8. Walked only 1.
Oh, an Oriole connection with Taylor Tankersley. His grandfather, Earl Tankersley, played for the St. Louis Browns, where they came to Baltimore.
Three and 1 on Scott, leading off. Trying to get on to get that tying run up. Yeah, and he does draw the leadoff walk. So the lefty brought on to face the lefty, and Luke Scott works the walk. This summer, your kids can learn how to play like the pros from the pros at an official Orioles summer baseball camp. Kids ages 7 to 16 will enjoy 5 days of professional training, appearances by current and former O's, free membership to the Junior Orioles Dugout Club, even the chance to play at Oriole Park. Registration is now open for the July 19th through the 22nd Orioles Summer Camp at Memorial Park in York, Pennsylvania. For additional dates, locations, and details, call 410-472-3500 or visit Orioles.com. Well, the situational lefty Tankersley brought on to face the lefty, and he issues the walk. And here comes Brian Sanchez on, the situational righty. Tying run coming to the plate in the 8th. Millwood will look for a second straight win. He'll go against Nate Robertson.
Nate Robertson, the veteran, remember him with the Detroit Tiger days, 5-5 on the year. So kind of a shaky start to a season. Kevin Millen, as you said, will be looking for win number 2. Brian Sanchez on. This will be his 23rd appearance, and as Jim said, he really is the matchup righty. So you can see how a manager will work his way through an inning with both Tankersley and Sanchez. He's secretly an Oriole fan with his scorebook.
Busted. Now it'll be interesting to see if Jones gets on what Edwin Rodriguez, the interim manager, does with Wieters, because you have a switch hitter on deck. Will he allowing the bat left-handed against Sanchez, where possibly they do have another lefty in the bullpen.
Right. I think it'll depend certainly upon what happens with this at bat. But as we said, that slider combination that Sanchez has, right-handers are hitting 178.
There's James Hauser.
You get a left-hander up behind him. Left-handers against Sanchez, 360. And this is what really determines a reliever. If you get the same side out, in other words, if you're a right-handed hitter, right-handed pitcher, you get that side out and not the other, you're a reliever.
Jones takes 2-1. This is the kind of an inning, as we talked about as our telecast opened tonight. You were talking about, how about a 3-run homer? This 3-run home run here would give the Orioles the lead. Ninth inning, go for the save. Pack them up, see you tomorrow.
Right. I made the mistake of not saying multiple 3-run.
That's right. You did get the 2 home runs in the game.
You need to be more specific, I guess, when we ask for something.
You asked for multiple home runs, and you got them.
That's true.
Including one from the guy at the plate. 2-2. And a foul. Just got a piece.
Fouled straight back. That's a pitch that certainly Sanchez got away with. Adam Jones was right on that on the inside part. When a hitter fouls that ball straight back over the catcher, you know he is right on it. You need to throw harder or softer than that pitch. That's just reading the bat.
Luke Scott measuring his lead off first. Line drive and a base hit in the right field. Scott will hustle to get into second base, and he does. Ooh, awkward slide at the end there. I'm not sure if he tried to stop and slip, but he had to make sure that ball got over the head of Uggla.
Well, pretty good at bat by Adam Jones. Gets the breaking ball. Luke Scott kind of gets caught in no man's land. He almost might as well. And again, he slips on the heel. It's a pretty dangerous 90 feet for Luke Scott.
So Jones with a good at-bat. Got ahead, count even, fouled off a pitch, and then serves it the other way for a 2-hit gain. And here's Wieters, who will face the righty.
And this has really been the problem inning for the Marlins all year long.
Wow, look at this. A bunt, the throw to third, out there. Matt Wieters asked to sacrifice, and he just tapped it out in front of the plate. An easy play for Ronnie Paulino.
Yep, able to get the lead runner. It's kind of pushed at it. Doesn't get far enough away. And not even a close play. Actually, they're lucky they didn't turn 2 on this play.
Barely made it to the grass. So 1 down. The runners at first and second. With Jones now at second and Wieters at first. And here is Scott Moore. Misses the slider, 0-1. Scott's had a tough night. He has struck out twice, grounded out. Those at-bats against Velasco to start it. Check swing, he went too far, couldn't hold in time, and it's no balls and 2 strikes.
Well, this is a huge at-bat. Difficult that he's down 0-2 quickly. I'm sure this is the matchup the Marlins don't like.
2 on, 1 out, 0-2 on Scott Moore. Bends outside, takes ball 1. Got him. Scott Moore down on strikes, and there is the 3rd time tonight he has struck out.
Straight changeup, gets on top of it, goes straight down. Scott Moore, I'm sure upset with himself for expanding the strike zone.
So 2 outs in the inning, 2 on. And Juan Samuel will go to the bench and bring on Jake Fox, a long ball threat, who will come to the plate representing the go-ahead run with 2 down.
The same spot he hit in last night, the number 9 spot in Cesar Stewart's. Gave it a ride in his first at bat with the Orioles.
And they hit the ball to the wall in center field.
It's that same ball. I think it'll go tonight. That would be a time-made 3-run homer.
So Fox coming on. And with the tying run at first base, Julio Lugo replaces Matt Wieters. So speed now at first base with 2 down. A double to the gap could tie the game. Jones at second, Lugo at first, and now good speed on the bases for the Orioles. And here's Jake Fox, his second day as an Oriole. Swings through it 0-1.
Maybe look for something probably off speed in this at bat. Slider or straight changeup.
Fox has power. There's no doubt about that. Breaking ball outside, 1-1. Alfredo Simon is getting loose. One and one on Fox, 2 on, 2 down. In the dirt, nice block by Paulino.
See him get his thoughts together. What will this pitch be? Do I give it a good pass at a fastball? I'm sure Sanchez is just not going to lay one in.
2 balls and a strike. Good hitters count. Ball 3.
And if you're not going to give in 2-1, I don't see him giving in 3-1. I'm sure he has more confidence in his off-speed pitches than he does his fastball.
So the runners, Jones and Lugo.
Look at this count. You probably see the A swing unless it's a breaking ball.
Yep, there was the A swing.
That's your free shot. Take a look at this last swing, helicopter attack. Fastball up and on the inside part. You can't believe this. We asked if the ball was up. But that was certainly worth taking a hack at. Now he has to be a little bit more conservative with his swing.
Runners will go, and it's high, ball 4, and the bases are loaded. Now a single could get the game even.
That was a good at bat.
For Jake Fox, that is the first time he has walked in a game in a month. His last walk was May 23rd.
Wow.
That tells you the kind of hitter he is.
Wow. I was going to say, did he not play for a month?
Well, he's got some games. In fact, when Oakland was here in late May, he got in all 3 games. So Corey Patterson now has a chance. He's already delivered earlier on, 2-run single in the second inning. He is 1 out of 4. The tying runs are in scoring position. The go-ahead run is at first with 2 down. Bouncer towards the middle. Fielded and no play as Uggla got it, but nowhere to throw. Run scores. It's a 1-run game. And again, Mike, there's what speed will do.
Yeah, when one guy went by the pitcher's head, you knew it was destined to be in trouble for the Marlins. Just a high chopper over the middle. Actually, Ramirez lays off of it, and then there's no one to cover second. I don't think they would have had a play anyway, but they just did their best they can just to keep it in the infield. Almost like a fly ball outfielders calling for it. You can see the infielders communicating.
So Patterson has a 3 RBI game, and now Miguel Tejada up. Randy St. Clair, the pitching coach, is coming out. Now, even though you know Edwin Rodriguez, the interim manager, knows the personnel on this team, he has been in AAA all year. How much more influence does St. Clair have, at least for today and tomorrow?
Well, I'm sure he'll actually feed him the information of who's rested, who's been hot, and who's been cold. But, you know, he's coming in just like Warren Samuel. Well, maybe a little bit less biased than Samuel. Samuel certainly being with the club every day. You know, I'm sure this didn't happen really over that night. I'm sure this move was going to be put in place, and it gave him a chance to look at the club.
1 RBI in his last 22 games for Miguel Tejada. This would be a good shot for him to break out. Basic could give the Orioles the lead.
Yeah, I don't think it'll run too deeply into this at bat.
And he takes strike 1. So Randy St. Clair told his pitcher, throw a strike.
And he did. Now I think maybe he'll let it fly. I think Mickey was saying the same thing. Let me see if I can get ahead, you know, ball 1. Then I would coax him immediately into a fastball. Now he may have to hit another pitch.
Strike 2.
Little cutter.
Miguel's last RBI came June 13th against the Mets. That was the final game of the last homestand. Huge opportunity for him here. And Sanchez gets ahead 0-2. Tying run at third, go ahead run at second with 2 outs. And Tejada's in a hole. He's got 2 hits on the night. High fly ball to left. In on the ball is Coghlan. And he has it for the out, and the Marlins escape a huge jam. Orioles get a run, leave the bases loaded. We'll head to the 9th. Now a 1-run game.
That was seemed like a golden opportunity to try to take advantage of a situation that presented itself maybe by the Marlins giving the Orioles a chance. They had the Patterson base hit, but Miguel good at bat.
And Alfredo Simon now takes over as he will try to keep this a 1-run game and get the Orioles up in the bottom of the 9th.
16th appearance on the year for Alfredo Simon. 15 innings of work, 15 hits, 9 walks. A little on the high side, strikeouts, but he has impressive stuff, I would say. Fastball can be 95 to maybe even a little better than that. A forkball, when it's good, can be real good.
Jake Fox is catching now as he pinch hit for Isturis, which means Lugo who pinch ran for Wieters, stays in the game at shortstop. So a pinch runner and a pinch hitter, and they both stay in defensively. And Simone gets ahead of Wes Holmes. Nice job by David Hernandez. 1 2/3 innings scoreless. Only one base runner on a single. And he struck out 3. Fastball too tight.
Too tight at 95.
Bounce towards second. To his left is Moore. Plays a big hop. Throws out the hustling Helms and 1 away. Don't forget, you can vote for your favorite O's for the 2010 All-Star Game at Orioles.com. You could win the Vote Orioles VIP Experience All-Star Sweepstakes. A lucky winner receives 4 tickets to an upcoming game, VIP parking, on-field access to watch batting practice, and a private meet and greet with the Orioles All-Stars, plus a personalized All-Star Game batting practice jersey. Visit Orioles.com/All-Star for complete details. This ball is crushed to left field, and it's off the wall. Patterson will play the carom, firing back in. There's a play, and safe at second base is Paulino. Scott Moore was out in front of the bag and then lunged back. And Paulino was able to get in ahead of the tag.
And that was a bullet off the wall. Patterson certainly played it cleanly. We're going to watch where this ball hits. This was a low screamer.
Ooh. Just missed going out.
He's back. Patterson's on it. On a hop. A little bit more accurate throw, Paulino. Because it was hit so hard. Would have been a play for Moore.
Scott Moore elected to go out and catch it on the fly instead of waiting on the bag for the bounce throw. So an insurance run out there in this 1-run game with 1 down. And Chris Coghlan now. Fox has to go to the mound. First time he's playing defense for the Orioles, acquired yesterday, so going over the signs with Alfredo Simone.
Yeah, what are we going to use with a runner on second base? Many times pitchers have their own sets of signs that they want to use. Last thing you want to do behind the plate is get crossed up with a 95+ mile-an-hour fastball coming at you.
Well, I'm sure Fox has been in meetings since he's been here, but you can almost envision him out there saying, so you're Simone. Well, what do you throw?
Right. And when do you like to throw it? I mean, there's a lot to digest. Certainly the offensive signs when he's hitting, the defensive signs of catching.
And there's a base hit in the right field, and Florida will get an insurance run as Markakis runs it down. Coghlan hits the second base. Here's Paulino to score, and it's a 7-5 game. Simone comes on and gives that run right back.
They've just been unable to keep the Marlins off the board in the 7th, 8th, and 9th. Last night, 6 runs on the board, 2 in the 7th, 1 in the 8th, and 3 in the 9th. To change a close game to start slipping away.
Now this one really hurts. The Orioles sent 7 men to the plate in the bottom of the 8th to earn that 1 run to get within a run. And now it's a 2-run cushion again. Runner goes, throw to third. Tejadas tag, he's out! Doug Eddings said he got him. Good throw by Jake Fox, and if you're Coghlan, why not? One of the top base stealers on the team, and Fox, not as experienced a catcher as certainly Wieters is.
And we had a pretty good jump. Fox showing an outstanding arm. Nice pick by Tejada, and stay right there for the tag, even with the distracting bunt. Watch this on the run, almost taking the throw, pick, and the tag.
Debbie Sanchez fouls it back. So the count is 0-2 on Sanchez. Del Tejada's playing very well defensively. He's gone 18 games without an error and has committed 1 error in the last 36 games.
Yeah, he really has been impressive, and certainly the ball in front of him. That slow roller.
Base hit to center field. So Sanchez has another base hit, his 3rd of the night. He had 2 last night.
This is a fastball hitting ball club.
So the caught stealing huge. That would have been another run.
I think that breaks their. They have a 23 consecutive stolen bases intact coming into the night. Breaks that streak. Shows you what a nice play Fox made.
Right.
They had been thrown out, I don't think, in the month of June.
Hanley Ramirez now. There's another base hit. 4 hits in the inning off of Alfredo Simon, and all this after 1 out and nobody on.
Let's hope they try to run again. Now 12 hits on the board.
Rick Kranitz will come out for a visit. Simon last worked on Saturday. He did earn a save, although he did allow a run. This is a non-save situation. It was a keep as is outing, and he's allowed an insurance run to the Marlins.
A little over a year ago, about 13 months ago, had Tommy John replacement surgery. Long way back to get into this position.
Juan Samuel looking on. He got Hernandez in after Ryan Mattis. Hernandez an inning and 2/3 scoreless. Saw his team scratch out a run in the bottom of the 8th, but strand the bases loaded. And now the Marlins get that all-important insurance run and once again lead by 2, and 2 big runs out there. And here's Jorge Cantu, the cleanup hitter. Fouls it off.
Throw a fastball, they're going to have a good pass.
Four straight hits. There's a liner to center field. That's hit well, but right at Adam Jones, nearly sailed on him. He has it for the out. So a run on 4 hits and 2 left. Bottom of the 9th coming up. The O's need 2.
Hits. You see, strikeout pitcher. It throws in the mid-90s, and they said when his changeup is 90-91 is when he is at its best. He's another one of those guys that had not had a save at the major league level going into last year and had 26 of them. Power arm that's developed into a pretty good closer.
So here we go. Markakis, Wigginton, and Scott. Those need to get any of them on to get the tying run to the plate. Nick is hitless on the night. And there's a strike, 0-1.
Just letting it fly. 95-mile-an-hour fastball as predicted.
One on Markakis. That one taken inside.
He has converted 11 of his last 12 save opportunities and 15 of 18 on the year.
Kind of an interesting pitch that he has mastered for himself, that power changeup, as you called it.
Yeah, they said he likes about a 5-mile-an-hour differential. And that one there is a little bit more like 10.
And I guess the difference, because if you think about it, 88 is certainly fastball speed. I guess it's the movement he gets with the grip.
Well, usually, the larger the differential between the fastball and the changeup becomes more of a swing and miss pitch. Usually when they're closer together, maybe 5 or 6 miles apart, it's usually a miss hit you'll get out of it.
Bouncer past the mound. Ugla charges, plays the hop. He'll get Markakis 1 down in the Oriole 9th inning. Here's an update on the voting for the AT&T Player of the Game. And Adam Jones, 70%. With a home run, Luke Scott 25%, Asturias 5%. Still time to vote. Text it in 51862, and Tom and Rick will have the results coming up on O's Extra postgame. So the all-important first out in the 9th inning for a closer protecting a lead. And here's Ty Wigginton. Here's a strike. Ty has been on base once tonight. High fly ball center field, playable for Cody Ross. Has it for the out and 2 down in the 9th inning. Juan Samuel and the Birds down to their final out. You still got some power coming up, but now you're down to your final out to get somebody on base to get the tying run to the plate.
You need a runner.
Luke has homered. He has walked. Take strike 1.
Change up again, 87 miles an hour. It's almost like you can't pull the trigger. You're so geared in on that fastball.
Can't reach it, 0-2.
Back-to-back, they said he'll throw 4 or 5 in a row. But it is identical to his fastball delivery. Pretty good when you can show him 95 as a tease and get him off with your changeup.
Nothing at 2. Orioles down to their final strike. And this game is over as Luke Scott goes down on 3 pitches. So Nunez comes on and picks up the save. The Orioles go 3 up, 3 down in the 9th. And a tough night and a tough loss for the Orioles after a 4-0 second inning lead. The Marlins come back to win it by the final of 7-5. We invite you to join us again tomorrow. More O's action. Series finale against the Marlins. Kevin Millwood will be on the mound. He'll go against left-hander Nate Robertson. Our coverage on MASN HD begins at 6:30 with O's Extra presented by your local Ford dealer. And then game coverage at 7 o'clock. And now for Mike Flanagan and Amber Theo Harris, Jim Hunter saying so long from Oriole Park. Our final score at Camden Yards, the Marlins 7 and the Orioles 5. Tonight's telecast, a massive presentation. We're coming right back following a break. O's Extra, Tom Davis and Rick Dempsey are coming right up.